Hello.
Hello.
Friday night shit show.
Yeah, we start off like that. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, it always
Hello,
starts off
everyone.
like shit. But I want to say hi to everybody, and I want everyone to welcome a guest for having tonight, Ultra Gay Biker. He's a friend of mine from Twitter. He's a genius, pretty much, but he's got some really good points of view on things, and I really, really enjoy his company. So I invited him, and I think everybody remembers Ruben.
Hello.
And we also have Bruce here tonight, and we might have a few other people to stop in, but we'll see.
Well,
So,
hello, gentlemen, and hello, ladies.
I need to say something. I love your hair.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I put a little bit of effort into it. But I wanted to say thank you to everyone who showed up in the chat. Let's see who's in here. Okay, we have, I'm trying to go way up this list here. Wow. Hi, John. John's here. Hi, John. Well, that's how I know him. He goes by Woody Woodpecker on Twitter. And hello, Jason. Thank you for showing up. Okay, and hello, Six Nations, 31 Kings. Nice to see you. And Kronos is here. Hi, Kronos. And Tree Rock Creations. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Oh, Tollbat's here. Hi, Tollbat. Hopefully we're getting everything straightened out for your YouTube channel. We'll see how that's going. But I have been retweeting your tweets when I've been on there, but I've been real busy this last few hours. So I guess we can get started. Now, I'm going to try to figure this out because everything I put in the private chat did not come through like I was hoping. So let me...
you can copy it to like, what's it called again? Discord.
Well, if I copy it right now, I don't
And then
have...
repost it. Does it do it? If you just
And let me see if I post it down here at the bottom and see if it works, and you guys can see it now in the chat. Can
yes.
you see it?
I
Did
see
it
something.
show up?
Yes, let me show it up.
Okay. Awesomeness. So sorry, everybody. I didn't realize I had to be live before
Welcome to the
anything.
shit show. There you go.
So I'm gonna copy some of these while we talk about. You can talk about the first one if somebody wants to open that up for me, and I'll share it on the screen. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I've got the delivery robots getting knocked over.
Okay, so you have it ready for me to show up here, or you want to show it?
If StreamYards will cooperate tonight.
Because I'm trying. I signed it with the way I'm sending it to you. I had put in the links and explained what they were. At least I tried to. I didn't realize it was messed up. Yeah, did you guys see this on the news?
Makes me happy.
Okay, so look, what kind of society are we in where we think now that we can let little robots like this run around town and deliver packages to people, and that someone's not going to steal stuff out of it?
We are so sophisticated, we can't program a threat assessment and panic algorithm into a fucking delivery robot. That's awesome.
I have not seen this part.
It's terrible. I mean, the thing is, what have we become so lazy after COVID that we can't even hire people to ride a bike to deliver it or to walk and deliver it?
I would be that chick right there with the hat on, like riding it like it's a rodeo bull. I'm just saying that would be me.
That would be you. But I mean, look at this crap.
This makes me happy. I know that this is not a nice person opinion. Sorry.
No, it's all right. But I'm just saying how stupid. I mean, how stupid does this company must be? And now everyone's packages that were in that, whether it was a mail or whatever, or something's birthday present that grandma delivered or something, they didn't get it. And how are you supposed to prosecute anyone?
They could have had the Mandingo dildo from Bob's Bits. And like that could have been in there, and somebody had to break a delivery robot and steal all the stuff inside. And now this dildo is on the loose in the city with an unauthorized person possibly using it. This is not what we need.
I can just see the dildo breaching the surface. Dun 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 dun.
Oh my God, this is awful. I am so glad I don't live in a city. I mean, I am so thankful that now I have moved away from a busy city to the country just so I don't have to see stupid shit like this. Because it is ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. And I still can't believe that, well, for whatever reason, it's happening. I mean, it's our money is going down the toilet.
I see this. I think it's something very dark.
Well,
What are you thinking of? Why do you think that?
Well, so these people should just be erased. I don't like
I'm on the
like
same
people
page.
Like this. I don't like people like this. Bat to the head and continue to do it. Or a gun. Just put them out of misery. They're not alive. They're not human beings. I don't like these people.
Well, I've got 4 thoughts, and 2 of them maybe my own self-gloating, and the other 3 kind of dark and negative. But what makes me happy is this is a headache for companies like Amazon, and we saw what they thought when they took out the servers for underneath Parler. They are. I always thought they were too big, and I used to love Amazon, but they have gotten too big. And so anything like this is a headache for them. So I'm going to sit there and say, good, you get what you deserve. But my 3 thoughts is, one is people robbing these things. I mean, like, I'm chuckling. I love that lady who's riding it like a rodeo ball. But the other people who are sitting there just attacking it, stealing from it, well, that shows how lawless our society has become and how little value we have in things. I mean, it shows people don't fear repercussions. What was that?
That was my phone. I'm sorry. It does it every time.
Yeah. So that's
even though I turn it all the way down. I'm so sorry.
Streamer moment.
Well, that's my second thought. And my third thought is that this is going to, erase us. I mean, if, even one of the most untrained jobs, which is delivering packages, can be taken over by a robot, well, then what becomes of even our most untrained labor? People who just don't got the smarts or didn't pay attention to school or downtrodden on life, and maybe just need something to keep them on their feet till they get their break. Here we go. Yeah. That's it. And my final thought is rise of the machines, guys. Rise of the machines. Is that thing going to show up at your front door and be like, "Are you Sarah Connor?"
Well, as the way it looks to me right now, it doesn't look like any of them's going to get to anybody's door. They're either going to be tore up, stolen, or someone's going to just take them home with them. You know what I mean?
Do we know where this is?
I've ever seen. I don't know. It should be in the in part of the thing. We'd have
probably
to
California.
I would appreciate it more if they were a little more human shaped, so I could at least slap it on the ass when it drops off my package.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
This I know this sounds bad. I used to be a courier, and I feel like I've graduated out of that job. Now that is a job that we still need. We need people to ferry people across towns. We need people to do deliveries. These robots are not programmed for threat assessment, panic, call cops. They aren't. There's not a single line of algorithm that I'm seeing here where the robot has summoned somebody to help it, get a technician, get security, get police here. I don't see that. And so this is just a failure of a company that thought we're going to fuck over the people that do manual labor, and we're going to take their jobs, and this is them getting the crow back in their face. Have fun. Eat it.
Well, remember a few years ago, maybe it was 10 years ago, when everyone was bitching that we need to raise everybody's wages, right? For like the waitresses and, just people that are checkers at Walmart and all that stuff. And they kept saying, well, how much is enough? because in every state, it depends on where you live, how much it costs for you to live there, right? So that to me shouldn't be a federal thing. It should be a state-run thing. But they wanted to keep raising the amount of money that you had to pay someone. So you had, and I was always saying, well, that should be up to the employer on how much they want to pay their employees. And if the person doesn't want the job, they don't have to take it. Because when you force someone, a mom and pop business, to have to pay somebody $15, $20 an hour, then you're going to have one employee maybe, and then your service sucks because you can't afford the good employees because you can't afford to pay them what they're demanding to get paid. So that's what's putting us in this position. When now you go to Walmart, not Walmart, but like Burger King and stuff like that. And what's there? These kiosks to order your food. So what are we going to do? End up having robots that cook all the food. You push a few buttons and the French fries and burger falls out of a machine and you hand it to the customer. I mean,
it'd be
I don't
just
think
like
you've
the
been keeping up
Jetsons.
with that, have you?
They do that in Japan already.
well, I know, but is that what we want in our country?
Well, if they're
I
gonna
don't. I like
if they're
getting a
gonna
nice
Well,
homemade.
McDonald's can do that. Burger King can do
Well,
that.
yeah,
Although-
I guess they could
yeah.
get away with it,
But-
but I think that is where we're headed. If this is the kind of shit they think we're stupid enough to
To that.
want.
Yeah.
or something.
it's absolutely replacing us. And I just want to say about threat assessment and repair, how awesome would it be if that fucking thing, like when it was knocked over and everything, rolled itself back up and it was like, must return to Willow for repairs, must return to Willow for repairs.
Or I even saw a video and it had a bunch of dogs, like robot dogs that they're going to use to track people down and stuff. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have anything that's going to be able to run up and grab you like a real dog, I just don't see that. Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
Mm-mm.
We don't have the society which would welcome that. We really don't. As much
Yeah.
as Boston Dynamics wants us to be friendly to their robots, people at Boston Dynamics and DARPA did a test like 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they had DARPA programmers hanging out with a robot with a bunch of Marine Corps grunts. And for 2 weeks, these guys were there as VIPs hanging out with the Marine Corps guys. And finally, at the end of 2 weeks, the DARPA guys smiled and said, "Okay, kids, here's the test. We're going to see if you can sneak up on our robot." What? We're going to put our robot out there 1,000 yards, and you got to get to it without it identifying you as human.
Mm-hmm.
So the first guy did cartwheels all the way there. Didn't identify him as human. He made the robot fail the test.
Well, I know that
Failed.
Boston Dynamic blocked me on Twitter when they released a video of their robots doing parkour and doing backflips. And then I basically copied it and put the Terminator theme over it and sent it back to them. And then, like 8 minutes later, blocked.
That's awesome. Golly, you're just really good. I wish I could be that smart to think of some of the things that you're able to do. You're so quick too. You can do it really fast. But
DARPA got their face stuffed that day with the Marine Corps. They had to go back to the drawing board because one guy dressed up as a tree, and as he was dressed up as a tree, he went over there and he did the entire shimmy over. The entire time he couldn't stop giggling. He thought it was the dumbest thing he's ever done. And he made it all the way there without the thing saying, "Stop, human." Loved it. So all this stuff is just completely not going to be something that we have to worry about, I think. Yeah, McDonald's is going to have kiosks. Yeah, Japan is going to probably go to a more robot society faster than the rest of us will because their society is more disciplined and their people just don't beat the shit out of like inanimate objects as badly as we do in our poor economic areas.
But what about all the people they're going to force to live in these little 15-minute cities? Okay, you think that kind of crap is going to be going on in those cities? I mean, I mean, I haven't gotten to see any of the like
You
floor
remember
plans,
the rat? you
whatever.
remember that? Oh, there was a study done on rats years ago, and they kept adding rats to the population of this aquarium or the facility. And the rats were, at first, they were doing pretty good. They were mating with opposite sexes. They were doing things, but then the rats got too populous and started being very grooming centric. They just kept trying to clean each other and clean oneself off. And they stopped. They lost their sex drive. They started eating each other. They started having rampant amounts of violence towards other rats. Their entire society collapsed. That's a 15-minute city right there.
Because there were so many of them, it was overpopulated.
They packed them in. They packed them in like sardines.
Mm-hmm.
So is that, you think that's one of the reasons why they've got this huge will to underpopulate the planet, because they think we're going to be turning into these rats, like these laboratories?
I
No,
know
they
they can control 500 million people a lot easier than 8 billion people.
Yes,
Yeah.
they want control.
What do you have to do in these 15-minute cities to get to the top side of the Midgar saucer? Like, anybody know? Like, how do we get to the high society rather than live in the underside slums?
It's just, well, it's already. Sorry to interrupt you. It's a Chinese plan. There's a video out there, and the way that Chinese society is, even though it's communistic, they do have their own influencers. They have that hierarchy. If you're a member of the party, you get these privileges. If you talk up the party, you get these privileges. So that starts to get ingrained, where you have people who basically had a video where the person basically has a nice car. They go to the gas station. The person comes out to give the gas, and they don't even pay the person. Anybody who's not part of the party is considered vermin. Like, the Nazis did to the Jews. So they just throw the money out there. They don't treat them like shit. And then they tout that with all of their their own version of Twitter and TikTok and all that stuff, where they put it out there like they're part of the party and all that stuff, and they give them money, they give them status. Same thing here, Hollywood, politics, influencers that we have here. And then it happened where I went to a grocery store. Right after I saw the video, I asked a question of some girl. What do you want to be? I want to be an influencer. I want to be famous. I want to have money. That's what they want. So they're all society. It's like I always say it's the Batman original plot, the idea of just basically poisoning you everywhere, changing you what you want to do, and then forcing all you to just comply. And basically that's how they did it. Because again, remember, for 2 years, those people that didn't get the jab were demonized completely.
Demonized they were. I remember people saying they wanted to put us in encampments.
I remember,
and they didn't want to give us medical treatment because we were going to force everyone else to get sick. I remember that.
Line us up over ditches and then pew, 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 permanently delete us so we just fall right in.
Exactly.
How much do you want to bet that so many of these people are like, oh, I got the shot so I can travel, are now going 15-minute cities, yay! How much?
Oh yeah, I bet they are. They're ready to line up.
The same people.
The same people are ready to put those things on their wrists, to scan their groceries and pay their bills.
Once my vestigial twin stops growing, I can get an operation. Then I can travel anywhere. The doctor said.
Because everything now is based upon the narrative right now is climate change. That's the narrative right now. Climate crisis. Everything's climate crisis. And then, like it or not, what they did with the freaking fires in Canada, now that they did in Hawaii, it's all about, this is because of climate change. And everything now is racist and affects you. The heat is racist. The heat proves that there's climate change. That's all they're saying. It's touting it.
How does that even make sense?
It doesn't. But nothing makes sense.
What makes sense after January 6th?
Nothing.
I mean, honestly, if you look back, things were getting kind of jumbled up before then. But since then, it's almost like we're all asleep and we're having a horrible nightmare or something. None of it makes sense. It's ridiculous shit.
I'll give you a
new one.
I'll give you a way for you to see clearly. and that would be follow Kid Rock. Kid Rock statement.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can find it.
Well,
But that's
I
all-
follow Kid Rock on Twitter. I share a bunch of his videos. And some of them have they're blacked out or whatever. It says you have to click on it for this content or whatever because it says that it's falsified or whatever, this kind of stuff. Like a warning label on it. So, but I still share it. I'm shocked that I haven't really, lost my account because this is my fourth one. The one I have right now on the new Twitter or new X stream or whatever you want to call it.
Oh my god! Well, I got my
It's
account back,
changing
and I'm just trying not to do it, but I am posting a lot now because again, the same thing's going on. Everybody's talking about not to change the topic, but these barriers in Texas and how inhumane they are. No, I'm like I said, I go to dark places. I grew up right on the border of Mexico in Laredo, Texas, and it was bad then. It was worse when I went back, and it's worse now. It's horrifying there. It's horrifying, and they just want this. They want the collapse of society, and they want the humanity. They want people to be hurting so much that they will go, please help us. That's what they want. The same thing happened to Katrina. When a hurricane's coming, you don't do anything because the government's going to help you. That's what they want. That's what they're training them to do. But this is deeper. The deep state is deeper, and I don't say it goes to the 50s or the 40s. It goes back hundreds of years. Because again, 100 years ago.
One thing I don't understand about all of this is that they let people go into stores and take hundreds and hundreds of dollars off the shelf and walk out, right? Over and over and over on a daily basis. And now they're locking up everything. So you can't get in it unless you have a key, right? So it's like, okay.
But that's the whole point.
And then though, they defund the cost, but they want to hire in people that aren't even American citizens to be the police officers. Okay. How is any of this, make any sense? I mean,
it's all about control. And the thing is that,
but who are they controlling? They're letting everyone just run around like it's what's the name of that movie where everybody has one day a year and you do anything you want?
The Purge.
The Purge. It's like the Purge every day. I mean, it's like
because they want people
craziness.
To be dead. That's what they want. They want death.
It's
again,
it's
for
horrid.
the planet, for the betterment of the planet. No kids. There are some
violence.
No, there's some morons out there that are purposely men are getting sorry, not hysterectomies. Women getting hysterectomies. Men getting whatever they get. Whatever
castrated.
Castrated. Whatever. Yeah, basically. Yeah, and because they are, and the thing is that now you asked, there are two things that the youth now are in their heads. I might be, not a boy or not a girl, and I can't have kids because the Earth, we're going to die in 12 years. They believe this crap.
Yeah, it's because they want to make all of us look like, if you take Barbie and you take her head off, right? And she's got two little mounds and nothing. Okay. And then the guy, you take his head off, it's just a flat chest and nothing. So you're a nothing. You just take your head and put it on a different body and you walk around and everyone looks the same. Right. So then we also have a movie, the Barbie movie, which is the biggest cuck movie of all time that we've ever had. And it's made over hundreds of millions of dollars already.
A billion.
I think.
Okay, $1 billion. What does that tell you about society? It says that
women are dumb.
The women, women are a bunch of, I don't know what they're doing to women. And the men are just a bunch of guys that you can put a ring through their nose and drag them around. You know what I mean? It's pathetic. I don't want a guy that just is, it's not a man. I want a man that treats me like I'm a woman because I'm a real woman. But the bad thing is it's gotten so bad. You could see a famous YouTuber right now that's a man that's been, now a transsexual or whatever, but by looking at her, you wouldn't even know. So now men have to just have DNA tests. Everyone's going to have a DNA test just to prove you're a man or a woman, or so you know what you're getting.
First date
Before you
vibes.
get married,
So, were you born that way?
Yeah. Were you born with a vajayjay or were you born with a winky? I don't,
When
it's
did
just
you go-
pathetic. I don't know where we're headed.
Well,
Yeah,
the
It's
best part about
scary.
It's also
part-
very. I don't. Sorry to interrupt anybody. It's also very subversive. Also, what they're doing online. I'll say it. The porn that they have out there now, they're pushing trans porn. Every
Mhm.
time you log in or you look it up or look up anything normal, you think it's normal, it's trans, and it's like, what are they doing? They're embracing this. They want to confuse the mind to weaken the soul, and that's what they're trying to do. And
Yeah, but
I'm done with it.
have you seen any of the surgeries that they're doing to transition from a
Yes.
woman to a man and from a
Yes.
man to a woman? Okay,
Yes.
if you actually got to go in there and see these people after they've had surgery, and you have a fake penis that came from someone's leg or arm and has hair growing on it, and it's all cut up because they tried to fix it so that they can urinate from it.
The
Well,
colon,
that-
they use the colon and all that stuff. It's
Okay,
crazy.
This all
They're-
reminds me of the porn.
how are they going to get an erection? I mean, you know what I mean? They're mutilating themselves, taking away their ability to pleasure themselves. So the God gift they gave you, whether you're gay or lesbian or bisexual, is gone now. You don't have a sex drive. You're torturing your mind because now when you hug someone and you want love from them, there is nothing.
Right.
You don't have that extra special thing to give to the person you love because he took it from you. You
Well,
gave it away. You tore it off your body.
Right.
You know?
And you've talked about it, Janet, the fact that you were a tomboy. Imagine if you grew up now, all of the confusion you'd get from adults if as a child that age.
Yeah, my mom told me too. She said that I was hyperactive and that the teachers wanted to give me some kind of meds to slow me down. And my mom said no. So I had a parent that fought the system to keep me from getting that. I'm sure she would have tried to not say, you're not going to cut my daughter up and make her a boy, because I'm thankful for it. Because I finally, after I got, to, have my first kid, I was like, wow, I like having boobs, I like looking like a girl. So I started working a little more on trying to get my nails done and do things that I didn't care about before, because before it wasn't that big a deal to me. But once I had something to be proud of, I started liking it. Because I remember I told you I have 4 sisters, and I was the middle daughter, and above me and below me I had 2 blonde bombshell, women that are built like, Mae West. I'm very curvy, and I was all tall and slim. They were both short, but the guys would come home on my date and they'd say, "Who's that?" I go, "That's my sister."
Jesus.
Oh, so they wouldn't ask me out again. But I told you I went through that. That's why I'm used to seconds, whatever you would call it.
Yeah.
Just like blonde sisters,
Again,
all
we're biologically driven to go for the hips and the breasts because that's what we're biologically driven to do.
Mhm.
And but again they're gonna hone in on those things only and not hone in on what the what's in your mind. What are your thoughts? So then again, that's for me the most important thing. And again, men need to step up and be, look at women as intelligent creatures, the beauty that they have, not only just of the body, but of the mind. And then again, I'm very disappointed in everything that's been going on since 2019, 2020, basically.
Yeah.
And but what January 6th taught me is that it's all a sham. It's all a sham. Everything is a sham. I don't watch TV anymore. I aggregate my news. There are no both sides anymore. There's just one side. There is the oppressors, and the oppressed, or those that I'm checked out in a way. I'm just done with it, completely.
Yeah, I hardly watch television at all. I mean, there's a few shows that I'll watch, and I'll binge watch the series like Pinky Blinders, or what was that one about The Expanse, Yellowstone, certain things like that, and I'll watch it, and then I don't watch anything,
Right.
because I get all my entertainment basically from making my art, take care of my chickens, visiting with you guys like we're doing right now, things like that. The rest of it's like, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
But I'm glad at least
You're
you
not
went
going to force me to watch that stuff. So what's next on the list, Bruce, if you want to?
Something from Laura Loomer. Let me share my screen.
Okay, great. Thanks. Let's see what we can talk about.
Let me know when you're ready to start.
Okay, I'll add it to this thing. It's up there. Go for it.
In an interview with NBC's Dasha Burns that will air tonight, Ron DeSantis, loser, said Donald Trump lost his election because he signed off on the CARES Act, which paved the way for mail-in ballots in the 2020 election. What DeSantis does not want you to know is that as governor, DeSantis accepted $4.1 billion in aid from the CARES Act, and then you will always know that I come with receipts. Here's a press release that Governor DeSantis signed and released on April 17th, 2020, in which he thanked President Trump for sending Florida $4.1 billion under the CARES Act. And DeSantis said the CARES Act was a good thing. But now that he's running against the real Donald Trump, DeSantis wants you to think he's opposed to the CARES Act. He's a con man and a liar.
Yep. So what do you guys think about that? Do any of you really know what the CARES Act is?
I
do
do
not.
not. It's hard to say.
I didn't know that much about it, but Bush did, but he wasn't able to come on the show tonight. So all I know is that I was told that the CARES Act wasn't good for the United States.
It's really not good for the United States from what I've read. It did have a lot of material in there for infrastructure and a lot more for U.S. Postal Service, but I don't know the specifics of it. I do know that.
So I got to pay taxpayer dollars to get those dogs and carts that get kicked over?
No.
Probably.
I wish. God,
I think it had different things in it, and that each state applied for different things that they felt would improve on their state. Like he said, more help with their postal services, different things, depending, or with working the polls for voting, all that kind of stuff. I think it was that type of stuff. And depending on what you submitted for, they voted on what state would get what and how much money they would get towards that. I think that's what it was. And so when he was asked about the how come he lost the election, he blamed him for doing the CARES Act and that they made changes. That he made changes because of the CARES Act. That's why he lost, because of the way the ballots were done and stuff like that.
We don't.
So basically, he was saying that he threw himself under the bus, is what he was saying.
Yeah, and Ruben, let's not get ourselves flagged for misinformation. Let's speak in
Sorry.
code. The erection was the erection was swollen.
Yeah.
The erection was swollen. The 2020 erection was swollen.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got it right here. CARES Act was Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. It's 2.2 trillion economic stimulus bill passed by the U.S. Congress and signed into law by President Trump on March 27th in response to the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic in the U.S.
Interesting.
This is propaganda. It provided fast and direct economic assistance for American workers, families, small businesses, and industries. This is part of your bailouts. This is part of your $1,200 cash check that they deposit in your account.
That's fucked up.
I'm
sorry.
variety of programs.
Because I'm so tired of these poor.
Think about this. No, but think about this. March 27th, 2020. That's what is that? What is that? Like 10 days? No, not 10. 12 days or 2 weeks after the national emergency began on the 13th of March. It's ridiculous.
So you think that they knew about that in advance?
Yes. Yeah, they did. Of course.
Is that what you're saying?
I know they did.
Yeah. to me, every single thing that's been coming out, and the more and more evidence that's coming out about the jabs, they already had the patents already set up and everything before the virus even was exposed to people in the public.
Mhm.
So it's like, how can they? But the thing is, they're putting so much out there. How are we supposed to punish any of these people? You know what I mean? How are we going to get revenge on all these people and all these things that they've pulled the sheet down over our heads and forced us to go through? And now that the proof, the sheet's being lifted and we're seeing what's under there, how are we supposed to be able to, make amends for it or help the people that have been damaged because of it? You know what I mean? What are we supposed to do?
Some people are not. Well, most people are asleep. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
Most are asleep. And they're going to stay asleep. They're going to believe everything that it says. They're tapped into the matrix. So it's basically now time to set up small towns, and that's why I want to basically go somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to need to go. I want to go somewhere where I can be happy and just be away from this crap, and then just continue to heal up, and come back strong. Because again, that's the whole idea. It's like V for Vendetta thing with me personally. They are riddling me with bullets ever since 2020, and I've been hit with everything. So I'm selling everything, and I'm just going to continue to heal up and then fight back. And the way I'm going to fight back is with information. Be like the Julian Assange of modern day life, because again, to point out this stuff, to call it out, because that's what we have to do. And call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't care. I'm telling you the truth. Everything's a joke now. It's insane. And I don't know who it was. I don't know who, some European leader, prime minister from somewhere, made fun of Biden, so that he's not all there. It's just insane. And this is a joke. This is all a joke now. He's not running anything. He's the puppet, and it's just basically the unit party and the New World Order bullshit.
I want my ice cream.
And smelling people's hair.
Yeah, all the things. What Hunter's done, what he's done to his own daughter, and and then all the things. And again, it's just a scam. And again, it's
so much information coming out almost on a daily basis now. Here, there, of all the things that we talked about for years, because we knew it was true, but finally, because we read the stuff when it first came out, and then everybody tried to make you a nutcase because you believed something that was Chinese propaganda or Russian propaganda or whatever.
But they're still doing it. They're still doing it.
But the thing is, the whole thing with the PP dossier that came out, and we found out that it was paid for by Hillary Clinton's campaign and all that, and people still believe that's true. Okay, but so it's just flipped. It's like but they want to believe all the lies, and they don't want to believe the truth when they see it.
Yeah, but the thing is that I saw it on TV, or not TV. I saw it on a YouTube video. John King from CNN was interviewing people, and they basically said, "Oh, don't you want to send money to Ukraine to support them?" And none of them said yes. And then his takeaway was, people are believing all this stuff. We have to do something about it. Like, it's not true. Like, he's basically saying people are brainwashed. And that is a very scary thing to say. No investigation, no looking into anything, no asking why. Just saying, oh, well, we have to do this. And then when you have Christie, and you have Pence, and you have others that are basically saying, Lindsey Graham saying, we send money to Ukraine, send it. It's money laundering, and it's all disingenuous.
I don't think it's just that. Way back when we saw that video that came out of him saying, fire that prosecutor if you want to get that money. And then they said, well, you can't say that. It was up to Obama. And he said, Obama's gone.
Right.
It's up to me now, basically. So they fired the guy. And he's bragging about it on video. Okay. Yes. And during all that part, that proved it. He was corrupt back then. And then all the money laundering I've heard about, the child trafficking and stuff that was going on. And then all these
still going on.
Payments back and forth. And now we're supposed to believe that there's no child trafficking. There's none of this is true. And that pallets and pallets and pallets of cash or tanks filled with money weren't dropped off over there to pay a few people for keeping things tidy. But
Right.
I think when Russia went in there, they took a bunch of that stuff. They took stuff out of these labs and other buildings that they went through, and who knows what evidence they have against this administration. So
Yeah.
we have to stay at war with them and sanction them so that none of that stuff comes out. Because then now later, like 2 years from now, when some of the stuff starts coming out, they're going to say, oh, it's propaganda. You know, it's
Right. And there's-
AI, fake stuff that's made up by Russia. What I'm worried about is our own government sending out some type of pulse or something
Mhm.
to take out our electric grid. Everybody's on fake, the fake money or whatever you want to call it, the digital coins, and no one
Yeah.
has access, and they're going to blame Russia for it. See,
Exactly.
and do whatever they want to us because they
Russia,
got so many
Russia,
people
Russia.
believing it. Because so many people believe it now, So okay, here's
Like
that
this
same
motherfucker.
Bankman guy. Is this the one that you wanted to bring up,
Yep.
Bruce? Okay.
Sam Bankman-Fried. He's heading to prison after intimidating key witnesses using leaks to New York Times. This comes to us from theconservativetreehouse.com. The last refuge, ragtag bunch of conservative misfits. Let's see. People trade you one SBF incarceration exchange for one DGT incarceration and call it fair. U.S. judge in New York tells Sam Bankman-Fried he does not have unlimited First Amendment rights. Judge Lewis Kaplan revoked bail and sent SBF to jail for using leaks to the media to intimidate a key federal witness against him, his former girlfriend. Setting the stage for U.S. judge in D.C. telling President Trump he does not have unlimited First Amendment rights, establishing a groundwork for sending DJT to jail using his political platform to intimidate Mike Pence, a key federal witness against him, and a fucking turncoat traitor, his former vice president. Yep. Well, here we have he's heading to jail Friday after a judge sides with a request by federal prosecutors to revoke the FTX founder's bail over alleged witness tampering. Bankman-Fried will be remanded to custody directly from court hearing in New York, where he remains ahead of his criminal trial, which is due to begin October 2nd. Kaplan denied Bankman-Fried's request for delayed detention pending an appeal. In the motion requesting Bankman-Fried's detention, the government said that over the last several months, the defendant has sent over 100 emails to the media, has made over 1,000 phone calls to members of the press. The final straw, according to prosecutors, was Bankman-Fried leaking diary entries of his ex-girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, the New York Times. Ellison pleaded guilty to federal charges in December of 2022. She's also the former chief executive of Bankman-Fried's failed crypto hedge fund, Alameda Research. Do not fall for these scammers saying they're part of Alameda Research. Don't fall for any scammers. But if they say Alameda Research, they're immediately a scammer. And they don't like you. They have been cooperating with government since December and is expected to be a star witness for the prosecution. The prosecution described the effort by Bankman-Fried, who faces several wire and securities fraud charges related to the alleged multi-billion-dollar FTX fund, as an attempt to discredit Ellison, characterizing this as a means of indirect witness intimidation through the press. It is an arrangement that proved sufficient to convince Judge Kaplan to send Bankman-Fried to jail ahead of his trial. Meanwhile, back in D.C., the U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan warned Donald Trump and his attorney Friday that repeated inflammatory statements about his latest criminal prosecution would force her to speed his trial on charges related to his bid to subvert the 2020 election. I caution you and your client to take special care in your public statements about the case, she tells the Trump lawyer John Lauro during a hearing, and I will take whatever measures are necessary to safeguard the integrity of these proceedings. Chutkan's stark admonition came at the conclusion of her first courtroom session in the newest criminal case against a former president. The aim of the hearing was for special counsel Jack Smith's prosecutors and Trump's attorneys to hash out disputes about the handling of evidence in the case. Once Chutkan enters a so-called protective order governing evidence, prosecutors say they're prepared to share millions of pages of documents with Trump's team, jump-starting the case and setting it on a path to trial and a hung jury. Chuckton, aware of the national spotlight on her oversight of the explosive case, repeatedly emphasized that she intends to keep politics out of the courtroom and treat Trump like any other criminal defendant. You can all laugh now. I sure am internally.
That's a lie.
That has included potential consequences if he makes statements that could be constrained or construed as harassing or threatening witnesses. The fact he's running a political campaign has to yield to the orderly administration of justice, she says. If that means he can't say exactly what he wants to say about witnesses in this case, that's how it has to be. Even arguably ambitious statements from parties around the council, that they can be reasonably interpreted to intimidate witnesses or prejudice potential jurors, can threaten the process. She adds later. Fucking Tracy Chapman went downhill.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
All right. So that's that story right there.
oh my goodness.
And
What a dumb
I mean, I got a bunch of this. That
And
was
how rich is that one guy?
Bankman-Fried,
Yeah.
billions.
Well, the thing is, when I saw that picture, I'm like, and you said something about him having a girlfriend, right? I was like, he could not
Oh.
be rich enough for me to want to go out with him.
You got to see the
Yeah.
girlfriend. Oh God.
I just got to
Oh.
say that I've been a surprise. This year's been a surprise for me. One, this guy got his dick wet. Two, the stripper that Hunter Biden impregnated for his amazing granddaughter to the president.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that stripper! I would buy a calendar of her and masturbate to it daily.
Oh,
She's-
well,
She's levels
Wow.
of hotness that we mortals do not deserve.
I really haven't really seen that many pictures of her, just like side profile of her with her daughter. So I haven't really got to see, now people are still thinking that woman, the alien woman from the airplane, the
Tiffany
one that
Bowman.
was, yeah, whatever her name was, they're still thinking
I'm
she's hot.
telling you that
I can
fucker
fix her.
isn't real.
I could fix her. I just let me have sex with it once. I can fix her.
I know, because she was really pretty, apparently, and I guess guys kind of like it when you're a freak.
Somebody painted a picture of her sitting there, like pointing back into the plane, and the seats
Yeah.
are filled with like unicorns, leprechauns.
I know. I thought that was
Bigfoot.
cool.
I loved that.
Me too. I thought that was a really, really neat picture.
but good. Fried's going to prison. Fuck him.
This is London Roberts, the seed buster, or the producer of Hunter Biden's daughter. And I mean, like, that's not her. That's her right there.
Yeah, she's very pretty. Well, of
Very
course
pretty.
she would be if she was a stripper, right?
I mean, okay,
If
there's
you're
an
making any
assumption
money,
that
you have to be
if you work at Hooters-
pretty.
If you work at Hooters or you're a stripper, you're supposed to be attractive.
Got to have some
Well,
brains. That's my criteria.
I've been to a few Hooters, and I don't think that's true anymore. Even don't they hire men now too?
And obese. Body positivity.
Yeah, in across from where I lived in Metairie, they had a place called Twin Peaks. Have you guys ever been to a Twin Peaks?
Lots.
Yes.
Lots of times.
Okay, now I never saw ugly girls in there. They're always very pretty, and I love their costumes.
Well, my first
Or their
question would be,
waitress
are you a
uniforms.
conservative or are you a liberal, ma'am? That would be my first question. Are you conservative or liberal? Because then if I saw the bump, if it was a conservative woman, I'd know it was a gun. And if it was a liberal woman, I'd know it was actually a dude.
Oh my God, that is so funny. I wouldn't even have thought about that at all, but yeah. Is that a gun, or are you happy to see me?
It's your chicken finger, sir.
Oh God, here's the other one. Did you guys hear this about this article about the whistleblowers?
I don't know if you guys can hear this or not. We're gonna go back to the start of this.
Those individuals were inside the Capitol.
Can you hear that?
The SSA responded back, and I was privy to these
Just barely.
conversations firsthand. Why can't you show us? Why can't you just send us back, give us access to the 11,000 hours of video that's available? Because there may be UC's undercover officers or CHS's confidential human sources on those videos whose identity we need to protect.
All right. So that tells us that if you did not hear what he said, they're not going to release any more video about January 6th. They're going to burn it because there's too many points where they don't want to have federal agents being exposed. They don't want to have people getting doxxed.
No.
Which they don't have a problem putting my name and face all over some shitty website
Mhm.
or yours if you do something wrong. But
Mhm.
heaven forbid, if you can pin down and identify an FBI agent at a political rally that is hard right leaning, and you realize there's about 30 of them, identical build, very slender, really good shape, all have the same piece of shit $1,200 watch.
Mhm.
Keep in mind that, like, you know, those guys were in force at January 6th. There was not a single Fed that was off that day. They were all
Mhm.
at the fucking
Mhm.
Capitol. And
Mhm.
if you're still out there, Drew, I don't know what's going on with you. I just want you to get better. But, like, seriously, I expected you by this time to be brought in because everybody else I know that went to J6 has been arrested.
Mhm.
Good luck.
Yep.
Yeah,
man.
they're still prosecuting people. Like,
Yeah,
I saw,
Yeah, they're
for
still
no
looking
reason.
for people.
I saw
Yeah, well,
Even though there's more and more evidence coming out that how bullshit it was. Okay. Because like I said, when I was watching a lot of YouTube stuff live during that whole thing, and I saw people breaking the windows and handing bats out the window and logs or sticks and stuff like that. So they were handing it out the window from the second floor. Okay. And then there was video of people changing from Antifa clothes to Trump supporter clothes
Mhm.
under trees
That's on
and
video.
stuff. All
That's on
that
video.
stuff.
That's
I saw
probably why they
tons
wanna
and
burn.
tons of videos.
that's
Yeah,
probably
that's
what
what
they
I'm
want to
saying.
burn in that
But
1,000
this was
hours.
live during the same day. And then I kept saying, when all of a sudden they started saying they were going to
I'll be right
arrest all these people stuff, I'm like, well, who are they arresting? You know? And then when they said they were these people, I was like, these aren't the Antifa people. Okay. Because, you know, I didn't understand what was going on. And the fact that they've got videos showing the guards opening the front doors, letting the people in too, you know, and they're walking through the little red, you know, the little red ropes. They're walking down the thing. They're not crossing over the boundaries. You know, it's like tours. They're taking a tour without a tour guide, walking through the place. And then you got the guy, the shaman guy. He's being led around by two officers
Yes.
from one room to the next. They're leading him around.
And I'm just going to add, I think the shaman is so hot.
Well, he is. He's a cutie pie, I think. But the thing is, they were set up. All these people were set up, and they've been sitting in jail. Some of them still sitting in jail, and they didn't do anything.
Yeah, they
I
want.
mean, if you went in and you sat at Pelosi's desk and put your feet up and took a selfie, yeah, you should probably get a fine or something like that. But you weren't there to overthrow the government. I mean,
Right.
it's
They overthrew the
ridiculous.
government.
It's ridiculous. They were doing it. Yeah.
Yes.
The Pelosi and all of them, the ones who set it all up, had all the guards leave and take the barricades down. You had people throwing flashbangs behind the crowd to push them towards the Capitol. You know, all this different. There's so much video of it. And then a woman was shot that wasn't even armed.
Murdered.
So
murdered,
the whole thing is pathetic. And the fact that we cannot get a fair trial for these people, that's what scares the shit out of me. They have been lining the federal courts with liberal way out jerks that don't even. We got a person on the Supreme Court right now that can't even tell you what a woman is.
Right. Yeah.
Bonus
I mean, if
hole
someone
hammer.
asks you what's a woman, I'll say a woman is a human that was born with a vagina that can give birth on her own because she
A bonus
she makes
hole hammer.
eggs every month, so she can give birth genetically on her own. You know,
And you are being extraordinarily
that's a
bigoted.
woman.
You are being very
And a
bigoted.
man is a person who is born that produces semen that can get a woman pregnant. That's a real man, a genetic man. If they were to ask me, that's what I would tell them. And we have a Supreme Court judge that can't do that.
I just can't imagine that, you know, some fucking judge with potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars of college debt and maybe forgiveness for herself being a minority. Because
if you're a fucking black woman, we gotta fucking throw you into some sort of protected position, and we can never criticize you, even though you might suck at your job or be absolutely shit. But you're a black woman, so here you go, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Can't fucking identify what a fucking woman is. Then you got Janet over here, fucking just a military wife and homemaker, and she's got no quote special training. She doesn't have thousands of dollars of debt, but she can tell you what makes kids, and that's a woman.
Mm-hmm. You gotta have a woman and you gotta have a man. Put them together, and you got kids.
But I was assured that men could give birth.
Yeah, it just I don't understand why all this has gotten so complicated. It just doesn't make any sense, and I don't see what they're going to get out of it in the end. Why do any of them think they're going to be at the top of the food chain and not be run over by the bus?
There's a reason they're called useful idiots in every communist changeover.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Cthulhu 2024. No lives matter. No lives
and
matter.
Someone sent me a message. He's asking, Janet, off topic, did you ever find your cock? No, he never returned with all those gorgeous hens that are just now laying eggs, and he left them because he got eaten. I'm pretty sure he's dead. So
he went out for a pack of smokes. He'll be right back.
Well, he's been gone for 2 days that I know of, so it's weird not having him crawl. All I have is my little phantoms out there that go, they're really small, the real small ones. So that's all I have right now. But yeah, that's pretty terrible. The state of our country is. If someone would have told me when I was a teenager this is what was going to be like, I would have said, "Oh, you're full of shit." I would never.
Everything's happening the way I envisioned already. So I just need to figure out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Growing up as an Air Force brat on military bases and saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and I never would have thought that this would ever happen. That there would be this much corruption in our government that they'd tear it up from the inside out. And take down as many innocent Americans as they could.
I'll get you some free roosters, or I'll get you some cheap roosters. I don't know if they're free. David Giles in our chat right now. He lives over across the border in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
does he have roosters?
He's got roosters
that he wants to get rid of.
David Guile, just on my Discord, if you could just get a note to Janet from Another Planet, so you two can start talking.
She wants that.
Yeah, and then I'll come. I need at least two. I'd like to have two. So if one gets kicked
right now,
they're in
one
Claremore.
Gets killed, the other one will still be around.
Preferably big black cock.
They're in Claremore, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where that is. I'll have to get on my phone. Look it up.
I'm 10% black.
I mean, I have an uncle that lives in. There's a casino right next to it, Roland, outside of Roland.
The hometown of Will Rogers. All right, so pretty much like Claremore. Claremore is the hometown of Will Rogers. I know. Let's see. That's Broken Arrow. He's kind of close to you because he's on your side of Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
So just you guys need to talk on my Discord, or I'll put a chat in Discord tagging both of you so you guys can contact each other. Because
my daughter posted a couple of little things on Facebook. What is it called? The little hometown something or whatever. Where you have little pages or whatever for your town. Mm-hmm. So you can swap things and stuff, and saying that I'm looking for a rooster. My hens need them. They're all like wandering around, don't know what to do.
Running around like a bunch of cock-hungry zombies.
All you two
the thing is, he used to chase them all into the coop. The ones that would take forever to go in there, and he'd come out and he'd chase them into the coop. You know, make them go in at night, and then they'd all start getting up on the roofs and stuff. So, you know,
We need to protect traditional
know.
marriage like that.
so, you know,
Exactly.
nothing wrong with getting chased around by cock.
What goes to show, everybody?
Right, Dad? Right, Dad? You feel the same way?
Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh, it's so funny. You're so sweet. So, is there anything else on our list that we haven't talked about yet? Oh, we can do the one. You want to jump to the one about the Sturgis rally? We get something funny to talk about.
Oh, that makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. Good
That
on
was
you.
I was so happy when I read that on X. Is that what it's called? Just X now?
Yeah, and now our tweets are excrement.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'm going to show off this for Janet. Electric bus. Proterra.
Oh yeah, I forgot this one.
Proterra, the bus company that Joe Biden was all happy to talk about. This is Solyndra Part 2, or maybe
Mhm.
like EOG Part 3. I don't know, but fucking government gets involved with electric companies and energy companies got no business getting involved with like this. Well, this is Solyndra Part 2. Really, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection because they suck. Electric bus and truck maker Proterra says it is seeking Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection from a federal court in Delaware. The Burlingame, California company is a big supplier of buses to transit systems across the nation. A statement on Proterra's website Monday said it intends to maintain normal operations and will file motions with the court to use existing capital to keep running operations, including paying employees, vendors, and suppliers. This is bad, kids. President Joe Biden visited the company's factory in South Carolina in 2021 to highlight U.S. electric vehicle makers. The company said in the statement that it's taking action to separate the business units to maximize their independent potential. It sells heavy truck, van, bus, and off-highway equipment in the equipment. Good job, AP, you fucking public school pieces of shit. Equipment in the U.S., European, and Asia-Pacific markets. While our best-in-class EV and battery technologies have set an industry standard, we have faced various market and macroeconomic headwinds that have impacted our ability to efficiently scale all of our opportunities simultaneously, says her CEO, Gareth Joyce, in that statement. As commercial vehicles accelerate towards electrification, we look forward to sharpening our focus as a leading EV battery technology supplier for the benefit of our many stakeholders. They closed Tuesday down more than 88% at 17 cents. So says AP, the harbingers of truth.
So you can buy the stock for 17 cents?
17
Or is it,
cents.
or what?
Do not buy. Kids, do not buy that, please.
And see, that's another thing people don't talk about with the electric batteries that go on all these buses and cars and everything else. There's no place to put them. You know, that's because they're horrible for the environment. So we don't have anywhere to dispose of them. We can't recycle them
And the sad part
any
is,
more than we can recycle those big giant wind turbines.
I think the wind turbines and I think the EV market, I'm looking forward for a company to come out that can process these and either fire them off to space to piss off ET, or maybe find some way to make them break down and, you know, be harmless to the rest of society. But I don't see either one being good. I do have another interesting piece here, and I don't know exactly how I want to classify this.
Okay.
If anybody here have a theremin
Yes.
available, I need a theremin to be playing right now. Oh yeah,
I don't have one.
That's good. Okay, so this is off the Mirror on US MSN.
Awesome.
Terrified Peruvian villagers, they claim, are under attack from 7-foot-tall aliens dubbed face peelers. A group of Peruvian villagers are living in fear as they believe they're under attack
They're under attack by mysterious 7-foot-tall aliens they've named Los Pecados, which translates to the Stealers.
Like
This is Alto Nene in the northeast of Lima. The Iktu tribe, hailing from the San Antonio Native community, have recounted chilling encounters with extraterrestrial beings. The descriptions of the alleged extraterrestrial beings include large heads, yellowish eyes, and immunity to villagers' hunting weapons. Hunting weapons being carbines and other, usually high-powered rifles. They've likened the aliens to mythical Palacetes from folklore. They said to feast on human faces, fat, and organs. They claim that these are enigmatic figures, often shrouded in dark-colored hoods, have been targeting the community for a month since July 11th. Incidents have been reported, with most recent involving a 15-year-old girl who was hospitalized after a confrontation with it. She had lacerations on her neck. She looked like she was in shock when I saw the video. Let me see if I can pull it.
But that picture you showed, there's a guy wearing a basketball uniform while they're getting an alien out of a boat. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
All I can say is if I get abducted by aliens at this point, I am considering it a rescue mission.
There's one right there. This is the video.
You're not wrong.
41-minute mark. But at the 25-minute mark, I believe they have, yes, that's what I want to see. Bring this. Yeah. And let me blow that up. Okay. So they're getting the body. This is one of many victims they found. But some of you may have nightmares tonight. Get the kids out of the room.
So they don't have a head? Oh, there's their head.
No,
it's a body, but pieces have been cut off the leg or something.
Check this. Skull's been clean.
The face is completely peeled off.
This matches so many human mutilation cases I've read about in Peru and Brazil over the last 20 years.
But it looks like they took some pieces from his leg too. Are they making humans?
Yeah.
See that before they brought over what I was just talking about a while ago about them taking part of the thigh,
phalloplasty,
and making penises with them.
It's so for the equity of trans aliens.
Yeah, maybe they're using these body parts to build their own humans so that they can, mask up some of their relatives or whatever and let them, live amongst us or something.
Then the girl would say, "That motherfucker ain't real."
I'm telling you right now.
No, I gotta do it right.
I know you guys think I'm crazy. She's a Dallas socialite, and apparently she's made a fuck ton of money. She lives in like a $2 million mansion. But whatever she's got going on, her freaking house is beautiful. I just don't understand. Like, okay, we need more video on this plane to explain what we saw there. Sorry about that, but I wanted to bring that up because Peru has been. This is a keep your eye out in Peru. Because that village has had attacks since July 11th, and they keep reporting the same thing, which reminds me of the case in Las Vegas 2 months ago. And there was a video I saw, and I went back to it today to try to get a hold of it to show you guys tonight, because there's a video where there's an alien hiding behind the forklift on a video in Las Vegas that matches the same description and the photo footage that they've got from Peru that I just showed.
But we never saw the one.
Remember when that crash happened and we talked about it on one of the shows like this, because I said my relatives were coming to see me, and they had the videotape of the backyard with the bright lights and everything from across the way. It wasn't in the yard that where
it's in the backyard. The back of the house is fenced. And it's not grassed over. It's like a lot where you repair heavy equipment or cars. And there's a Yale, looks like a Yale fork truck. And behind it, standing pretty damn tall, is an alien. You can see the outline of the head. The details are kind of fuzzy because for some odd reason, aliens turn your nice Note 12 to a iPhone 3 whenever they're around.
Well, it's because they supposedly are maybe radiation or whatever. But remember, we watched that video and it looked like that. Remember, it was a big open lot and it had like a dumpster and some other big heavy equipment and stuff. So maybe this is a picture or some of the video from that same night in that same lot by that trash can.
Well, I put a video
And
in
that's
chat.
just now releasing it
Those guys,
because
that
it was
are
in
that
Las
video,
Vegas.
that guy's
right?
pretty impressive. He's got the video from Las Vegas in there, and then he's also got some other video from Peru. And you get to see an alien. It's at a distance, and it's not quite the best focus, but from what it looks like and from what the scaling is, if you go on Google Maps and start trying to piece together, okay, where's this, it actually looks like it's larger than standard human. It looks like it's about 7 to 8 foot tall, which if that's, there was guys like, just remember a few years back, Ridley Scott, acclaimed director, was screaming, Earth is going to get taken over. There's 50 varieties of aliens out there, and maybe 4 of them like us. And there's been human, I don't want to say abductions, but human mutilations done every year. And a lot of this gets discovered and broadcast out in South America. Happens here in America, things get covered up fast, but that happens all the time in South America, Brazil, Peru, Colombia, and the same spots are always targeted. They remove part of the jaw, the orifice around the mouth, butthole, usually about 20 feet of intestine, large and small, and then they do some other surgeries. But this is something that's been happening a lot down there, and I think it happens everywhere else too, but they just step on that story and don't let it get any wings, because nobody wants to, panic people around the globe. Like, hey, about 40,000 of you are going to disappear every year off to some ET farm so they can eat. It's pretty disgusting stuff. But
yeah, and another thing that popped in my head when you showed that is the fact that they weren't covered in garb or, special uniforms or whatever to protect them from disease or anything. You know what I mean? So when they were moving that body, they weren't worried they were going to get some kind of disease from it or anything. So they knew that basically that had whatever happened to it had been safe, I guess, because even though they're in another country, they have hazmat and stuff just like we do about disease and viruses and things like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting because they were moving it without wearing any of that stuff. And that one guy almost fell face first on top of him. So that was pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
Is there a video? Or are you doing more?
Okay. Do you want the next one, or do you guys want to talk more about it? Okay.
Unless you guys want to talk about this some more. Does anybody else want to add anything? Gay Dad? Do you want to talk about aliens?
Nah, not really. I mean, unless we get Sigourney Weaver involved.
Better nuke it from orbit just to be sure.
Yeah, well, when Janet announced, that, hey, the show's going to be starting in 10 minutes, that's what I put was, mother self-destruct there, and all I could hear in my head was, you have 10 minutes to reach minimum safe distance.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, but I already said, that I thought that was interesting, the way that they scalped that person. Basically took everything off his face, even the muscle. If you looked at it,
they're getting ready. Cthulhu's coming 2024. No lives matter.
No lives matter. Why settle for the lesser evil?
So you ready for me to post it?
Yeah, go ahead and post it. This is a video from Maui. This is just the human side of things in Maui. You can see just desecration. This video, I don't know if
somebody's down right now. Somebody's down. Let's go there. We cannot do nothing for her. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, we were talking about this. I shared this in our Twitter DM. And it got pretty heated between Sandy, Bush, me, Emperor, and I think Gay Dad got added a little bit after that, or maybe it was during that. I don't remember right. It was around the same time. But I said if I was driving by and I saw someone laying on the ground like that I would have got out and tried to drag them into my vehicle because yeah, you were in there, Ruben. That's right. You were in there too. Because I just was like, I couldn't just drive by. They just drove by. Okay. And then a few of them were saying that she wasn't moving. So if she wasn't moving, she was definitely dead. But I probably would have died then, because I would have pulled over and tried to get her in my car. I couldn't have just left.
That's what I'm saying. Again, I've had this same experience, but not with fire, with snowstorm. I've saved like 7 people personally, and one of them was a snowstorm. I'm driving, and then out of the corner of my eye, I see a body in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
And I pull over and I go out there, and then the lady, was just, drunk and everything. And then, an old lady, and she had no coat on. It was like freezing. So I picked her up, put her in the car, took her back to my place, and then basically said, warmed her up, and then basically called the police. And then they came and then found out that she was a neighbor, and she was like, having an attack, about talking about her father when he, "Don't touch me, daddy," and all that stuff. And she's like 80, and then this happens. So basically, but again, I'm not gonna. I stop if I see something. If I have time, I can stop and save somebody's life or help somebody out. I'm gonna do it. That's my thing. I have to, and I've done it many times. And the very first time that happened to me was in Chicago in 1990, where I heard someone screaming behind my college, and I'm in the dorm room, and the windows are open. It's a hot summer night, and then no one does anything. I set the alarm off. I run across, because people are already she's crawling on Michigan Avenue at around like 11, 12 at night, and the cars are driving around her. And I said, "That's it. I'm out there." I grabbed her, did that. Punchline being that I saved her life, and then her boyfriend showed up again, and then the fact that I pointed out that's the guy because I saw him. She got mad at me for pointing him out. And
I know, and that's the psychological abuse, because that does happen. A lot of these women, I don't know what you call that. Is it some kind of syndrome or whatever?
Stockholm, I think, right?
Stockholm syndrome, something like that. But the thing is that they become like petrified to do anything or make any decisions without this person that was in control of them, basically. Yeah. And they have to have therapy themselves to break themselves from that whole, fucked up situation, if you want to say that. But I'm a bitch, because if somebody tried to hit me or do something to me, I'd fight back. So I'd probably be dead and dumped on the side of the road, but I would fight. So that's why I said, when I saw that video, it just broke my heart to think that someone could just drive by and just leave someone not knowing whether they're dead. Now, if her head was cut off and she was headless or that kind of thing, I could see why they would leave. You know what I mean?
Right.
She looked like she passed out from smoke inhalation to me.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't have done it. I couldn't. I even put her in the trunk. Put her in the trunk of your vehicle or something. Take her body, because exactly. Sad. It just broke my heart. But I felt so bad for all those people. I mean, you got a wildfire blowing across your island. Okay, you can't go. You can only go this way or that way. You can't go uphill up on the mountains. You have to go either towards the shore and jump in. Basically, is what people were doing. And then I saw posts from people saying, "How does the boats burn up?" Because there were burned up boats in the water and stuff. So it looks like someone was torching the boats. And I'm like, they must have never seen a wildfire before. We're all the states in the South. We got woods, and you got big fires sometimes, and it's really fast because it's the underbrush that burns. It's not really the trees. Some trees do catch on fire depending how dry they are, but if they got a lot of sap in them, they don't really burn. They bottom parts burn, and the bark burns a little bit, and then it goes out. But the fire rushes through all the dry brush. Okay, and it's like a flash fire really quickly. And then you got grasshoppers jumping, and frogs and birds, and some of them are on fire, and they're all trying to get out. And they're going somewhere and landing, and then they're starting another fire there. People aren't realizing that. And then the wind's whipping around, carrying embers onto the boats and stuff like that. And they already said
Exactly.
that was
Well, it could
hurricane
have been that the
winds
boats
that were going
Yes.
through, right?
Yes.
It could have
yes.
been that the boats were close to, shore, and yeah, they caught on fire. But then also, what tethered them, which would be rope, which would be made from cotton and nylon, would burn up, therefore setting a burned boat adrift.
Mhm.
Yep. See, that's what I was trying to explain to people.
With all
in
the wind too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
But they
started
said
it.
there was some hurricane
Yeah,
that went
exactly.
by there, didn't hit them, but the winds, and stuff changed. Like, when a hurricane comes to shore in Florida or in the Gulf, right? We end up having tornadoes come up through Arkansas and Missouri and Oklahoma and all that, which isn't actually a hurricane, but it changes the dynamics of the weather. So basically, what I heard it was like a electrical pole got blown over because of the winds, and when it crashed to the ground near a gas station, and that's what started the fire. And then the winds were so bad they were whipping it up, so it just kept feeding it, and so it's just dry. And then it just started just blowing across, and it's just a big island. It's not like
Yeah.
the United States. It's an island. It has a barrier all the way around it called water.
And and
So-
I mean, they're used to, the hurricane season. Typhoons come through the Pacific quite often this time of year, but it certainly wasn't lasers being shot down from space. And it
No.
certainly isn't climate change. Shut up, you alarmists.
Yeah. Yeah. It was sad that they did that, especially in such a tragedy, So, but yeah, I saw a couple of videos. I didn't even remark or anything on the ones with the lasers, coming down, because I go, I think I saw that movie. It was a movie. It was from that picture was from
Independence
some
Day.
movie. That's what it was. Okay, I knew I recognized that video that people were trying to show, but it's just dum-dums that aren't thinking about it because it's not their family members that were suffering because of the fires.
And people just want to do clickbait on both sides. I mean, well,
Yeah.
The climate sycophants are all sitting here going, but see, this is proof of climate change and the world's going to boil. I mean, come on, guys. A watched planet never boils. We'll be okay. And then, these people sitting there going, oh, God, it's an energy weapon, like the World Economic Forum is taking us out.
But that's the whole
Like
idea.
anything for a tragedy.
It's misinformation on both sides. Like the whole QAnon bullshit and all that stuff is the same thing here. They spark. There's a little truth to everything, a little, and there's a lot of lies to everything. So that's how it is. And then basically that's the whole idea. The whole idea. What was the whole? It was the sum of all fears. The idea. You don't get America. The way you destroy America is have Americans fight each other. You destroy the land within, and that's what they're doing now. Where there's no more decency, no more discussion. It's you agree with me or you're the devil. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's insane.
Yeah.
Well,
And what's really sad is
in
in the last 5-6 years, there's young people that throw the word Nazi around like it's just a word. Okay. It doesn't mean anything to them, about what really happened because of what the Nazis did to people. You know what I mean? And how many people they murdered.
If they had any intelligence, they'd realize right now they're behaving more like Nazis than anybody else.
Yes.
But they've been taught that. They've been taught Nazis are bad. And I mean, let's face it, Nazis are an excellent villain in every Hollywood movie, and space Nazis are even fucking better. But Nazis are the ultimate villain, and they did commit some of the most horrible atrocities in human history. So these kids are being taught that anybody who disagrees with this small collective of ideas that they have, who is not walking lockstep with them, is in fact evil and a Nazi. So they don't even know what it means. But if they had any sense,
I know, but that's what's sad to me is you also have young Black people wearing Che Guevara shirts. Like pop
don't
art
even get me
on their
started
shirt,
on that motherfucker.
not even understanding who that person is and how that person felt about them.
Yeah,
things like that, which is sad to me.
What
I just think
Hitler
it's
did.
sad.
What Hitler did is horrible, but remember what Stalin did is even worse, and what Mao did was even worse. And no one
Seriously.
talks about that. No one talks
And
about it.
plus, I see young people wearing T-shirts with Charlie Manson on it, stuff like that. It's like the creepier and worse the person is, the Green River Killer, Ted Bundy, all these people, that this small group of people are making pop art using all this stuff
Look how
and
many
getting
girls-
young people to want to wear it.
Look how many
It's-
girls
it-
are getting like wet wide-ons for Jeffrey Dahmer in the Netflix series. I'm like, no, he was not a good person. Why the fuck are you sitting there going, serial killer, fap, 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 fap?
Yeah, but you
Crazy.
know that lots of these guys that are in prison for murdering people and stuff, they're getting fan mail. You know, they get fan mail, and it's. I mean, our countries are eroding because nobody wants a nice person anymore. Nobody wants a nice guy that wants to go to work, come home, and take care of his family. Yeah, he might drive a Harley or wear leather or something like that. But he's a good guy. He pays his bills and he's responsible. And what about the women that that dress nice, that want to cook dinner and take care of the house and maybe be a secretary or a bank teller or just have a normal job and raise a family? What is wrong with that? What was wrong growing up? I remember growing up saying one day I wanted to grow up and I wanted to get married and have a house with a dog and a couple kids and a swing set in the backyard and stuff like that. I just
Betty Crocker, and I look like Donna Reed. There's plastic on the furniture to keep it nice and clean. In the pine sol scented air, somewhere that's green. And I can see you, Janet, just like bouncing off your swing set.
I know. I love that movie. Isn't that from Little Shop of Horrors?
Correct.
Oh, I love that movie. I'll have to do a review on that one too. That's another one we'll pick. But yeah, but the thing is, when we were growing up, we wanted to be a fireman, or we wanted to be an astronaut, or we wanted to be a doctor. We all had these dreams of things we wanted to be, something that we looked up to. And now kids want to grow up and they want to be Charles Manson
Influencers.
or Jeffrey Dahmer.
Influencers, yeah.
A sweet transvestite from transsexual
Oh,
Transylvania.
jeez.
Hey, I dressed up many a times. I went to those. I was
It's fun, but
Magenta.
it's adult fun.
Magenta was my favorite. I always wanted to dress up as Magenta because I thought she was just. I loved her.
How do you not love that hair?
Yeah, she was cool, but and she could sing, but I had to be Janet a couple times, but.
Well, how did that happen? Janet? How did you get typecast?
I can't help it. That's my name, so that's what they always made me want to be her. But it was a fun part too. But I love that movie, and I didn't look at it bad at all. I thought it was fun. It was fun. I love dressing up. I love doing costumes. It's a great movie, and so was the movie Grease. We did a couple Grease parties for the a couple of the groups I was in to raise money. We'd have membership parties, and we did like murder mystery dinners. We did all kinds of stuff. It was a lot of fun.
I fucking love
But now I'm in the boonies. They don't have anything here.
Yeah, we should do a murder mystery dinner. We should figure this out.
Janet.
I can do this online.
The game that you need to discover whenever you go to one of your bougie parties with all your friends, you need to get a game of Werewolf. Werewolf is a cute, stupid little game where everybody kind of sits in an Indian circle, big circle, and one person, they has to close their eyes, and one person is nominated by the judge. You are the werewolf, and nobody else can look. Or they pass out cards. They do have cards, but like everybody gets a thing like a biscuit maker, bakery. Everybody's got a job, but one person gets a card and they're the werewolf. And so on night one, everybody quote unquote goes to sleep. So the judge says, "Okay, everybody, close your eyes. Werewolf, pick your victim." And some things will happen where like somebody might see the werewolf. And then everybody opens their eyes at morning and they have a big discussion about things. And then they try to figure out who died or what it was. And the person who was awake that night, sees the werewolf, and like that's the person, and it
Mhm.
turns into 12 Angry Men.
So it's basically a discussion and trying to figure out
Yep.
who the werewolf was and who the victim was, because now the
Yeah.
victim is either
I play
dead or they're going to be a werewolf.
I
Yeah.
play it all the
And-
time. I
So
play
that's
it.
like a murder mystery type dinner.
There's an online game of it with 16 players, but yeah, I play Werewolf Online. It's the exact same game. Everyone has jobs and everything like that. It is a fun game.
It's not bad. I think it'd be good for your crew because it sounds like you hang out with some people that aren't quite gamers, Janet, and that would be a nice way for you to bring them into a game environment, without like saying, okay, well, we're going to play D&D next, but you kind of bring them into your little werewolf game, and you can play it within like what 35-40 minutes.
Well, have you guys, any of you guys ever been to an escape room before?
Yeah.
No, and I would probably go fucking nuts and like.
I
kill everybody.
have done dozens of them, and they're really, really fun. And if you get a good group of people that are fun, that are intelligent, and you just go in and you read the clues and you try to figure your way through it and escape in a time limit. And it's a lot of fun. There's so many of them now. They're all over. They're popping up everywhere. And it's a really good thing to do to take your family with you. You can have, your grandparents or your parents, and then even kids, depending on how old, if they can read and, things like that. But there's some really fun stuff that you can do. I did one. It was a Sasquatch one, and you went into a room and it looked like you were inside of a tent is what the opening was. And they had 2 cots, and you had to search that room first. But before that, they told you the story, and all you could see was shadows on the outside of the tent. And you see a big Sasquatch walking around, making noises and stuff. And he's terrorizing people, all this sort of things. And we got to figure out where the Sasquatch is so we can capture him and keep him from hurting people. And so it's really cute. If you go into the room and it's a campsite and it's got like an RV in there, camper, it's, sitting there, and you get to go inside of it and it find clues in there, and certain things happen. And while you're in it, it's wiggling around while the Sasquatch is out there trying to get in. It's just really very immersive and interactive, depending on, where you go. But I've gone to.
When we got upon the campers that he like mauled, like picking up like Cindy's arm and like Steve's leg.
Well, I know we didn't see that, but it had like a camera in there, and like you were watching him while he was out there attacking the camper and stuff. It was just really, really fun. But they had like 5 different ones at this place. But I've been to them in Texas and Arizona, in Arkansas and Louisiana. I've been in Florida. So that's a lot of different ones that I've gone to. And they're a lot of fun. But you can also get online and order them and do murder mystery dinner and have like a thing where you do it at your home and you send out the invitations like we did. We did a great big one. It had almost 75 people at it. It was a fundraiser membership party, and we hand wrote it. We made it all up. Me and a few others sat and wrote down the whole thing, and we had characters, and we had one person was a Grim Reaper, and all you did was walk and tap people and say dead, 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 with your dressed in your costume, because we had mass murder.
No. Yeah.
It was one of them was a mass murder where we had popping a bottle of champagne because someone had died, and everybody was coming there for the wake or whatever, and they all did a toast to the person that had died. And when they drank it, every person that you got it, we passed these cards out, and we were supposed to open it when you got your glass of champagne, and it said don't drink the champagne, so that everyone who didn't drink it didn't die, but everyone else died, so they had to leave because you had to get rid of people quickly, so that and then we'd have things where you meet so and so in the billiard room. It was like a clue like thing set up. And then we had people meeting for a tryst in the closet, things like that. And then they both died. They were murdered in the closet, things like that. But you dressed up in character and showed up. And I was the maid because I knew, I helped write it. So I was the maid, Sheila Hoggenstein, and I was all dressed up to be the maid. And I would set up the table. We had a bell on it. And we had every time there was a clue, like when the murder happened, we'd set it on the table and I'd ring the bell, and people could come and look at it and write down the clues and ask other people questions. Well, what happened when, like you were all like reporters trying to figure out who the murderer was and stuff. So it turned out really, really good. It was a
We
huge
could manage
success.
one on a Twitter space.
I probably, if I had a few people to help me do it, we could.
That would be freaking fun.
Yeah, it would be. They're great. They're so much fun. And what you do is you just get some ideas together, and then you sit down and like write a script about what you're going to do, because you have to have people to push the narrative. You know what I mean? So that people go here or there or look at certain things.
Well,
it's a lot of fun.
Funny story is I went to one that was run by a bunch of gay bikers. And when we got in there was a whole bunch of, chalk outlines done by tape. But of course, because it's gay men, all the chalk outlines had like giant erections. The funnier part is when they tried to take up the tape, they took the finish with it. So there were all these like chalk outlines with erections permanently left on the floor. I was like, that's gotta suck. I heard about that after.
Oh, that's so funny. I bet did they get in trouble? Did you know if they did?
I'm sure somebody had to pay for that.
or go buff the floors. Yeah, that'd be funny. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. But anything that you can get other people to interact doing, like I love games anyways. I grew up in a house where we had 5 kids. So we played games all the time. We played Monopoly and we played poker, played dominoes, and we were always playing games.
Well, I loved the game Clue, and I especially loved the movie with Madeline Kahn when she reveals why she killed her husband and why she killed the maid. I hated her so much that flames on the side of my face.
No, it's like flames,
burning, breathing, breathless flames.
She does it.
Yeah, that really was a good movie. That was really good. I mean, I love movies. Bruce and I love doing our movie reviews. And
it has one of my favorite lines. Was it? I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
I'm a plant. I thought your kind was called a fruit.
A fruit, yeah, that's really good. But yeah, see, Clue is one of the reasons why we came up with the idea for our murder mystery, because we took the whole house and we made each room in the house a certain space or whatever. And they had the pool table stuff down in the basement. So we made that the billiard room, so we had the front deck and back deck. And then we had a whole scenario where the police came to the door and said that the bridge was washed out because it was a bad storm. So no one could leave until they were able to get the thing fixed. And they were all there for a wake, and that for someone else who had died, and then other people were dying because they didn't want to share the money, So everyone was going to be in the will because they were going to read the will. So it was a lot of fun. But anybody can do it. If you got to know how many people you want to have in it and start writing your script. Yeah,
it sounds really fun, actually. But
it is. It's a blast.
Let's see if we can manage one on Twitter Spaces.
Never played a game like that. I don't play games at all. That's so funny.
Well, if you get online and look at in your area where you're at for escape rooms, because that's basically the same thing. It's a condensed version of a movie or a story, and it unfolds as you go through it. With help from other people.
I'm only laughing because I'm currently in Chicago, so I think I'm in an escape room now.
Oh yeah, hope you can escape one day.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I can't imagine you staying there. I really can't, Ruben. But
Chicago.
Didn't you used to be there?
Chicago, yeah, I moved here in 1990, and I left here in 2021. Mm-hmm. At the end of 2021, 2022, I was in Florida for those 2 years, 2021 from 2023. So again, this is a very bittersweet being here, and it's basically going back and seeing a corpse, because the only thing I have here is my wife's gravestone. This is the only thing I have here. Mm-hmm. Everything else is gone, so I don't talk to anybody. And again, that's how it was. That's how my life was. Basically, my wife was the first person I ever talked to. She's my first person I ever went on a date with. I dated very late. I was 27. My first date. That was my first date, 27, and I married her in 29, and then she passed away. So that was kind of like, but again, it just, but again, yeah, that's the one thing. The fact that I'm here now, or I've been on with all of you, talking with all of you now for the last 2 years here at least, is as I basically did. I basically was in the hospital and sitting there and basically said, you know what, let me start talking to people. So I met with Gary and Jeremy and all the people, and then started hanging out. So I'm trying to talk to people now because I haven't talked to anybody. So that's what I'm trying to do. But I'm really glad to be here. It's fun. But again, all the stuff you talk about me, like family playing games, we never play games. It's kind of funny.
Well, I say it all the time. I feel so blessed because I had such a really wonderful life. I had wonderful sisters. I had a great mom. I love my grandparents. Every summer when my dad would be gone, or wherever, and we'd go from one state to another, and we'd go visit relatives. My dad's family was in Windham, Connecticut, and Maine, Gorham, Maine, and Bangor, Maine, and he had relatives in New York because he was born in Albany. My dad, and then my mother was born in Denton, Texas. Wow. And all her relatives were in Texas and Oklahoma, and Arkansas. So, we would travel. We just drove a lot. And so a few times I remember all of us riding a Greyhound bus. My poor mom never slept because she had 5 kids to watch while we were on a bus. But we just, family was very important to my mother. So, she wanted us to know who our grandparents were and our cousins. So I was really lucky.
Yeah, my last name is not my last name. It's my father changed his name 5-6 different times. It's crazy. Yeah, he didn't know his family was, so whatever. He picked this name because it was his mother's maiden name, and we didn't even talk to the lady. So it's just really bad. So it's just funny. I always thought about changing it too, and I did my old DNA research. So I want to know who I'm from. But again, it's all over. So again, it's another like dark, nothingness there. But yeah, it's good. But yeah, doing a game like that'd be fun.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you got on YouTube and you got to meet your new family, your YouTube family.
Oh,
and you got to be friends with all the guys on the Friday Night Tights and stuff.
That's the other thing. I never talked to a guy in my life until 2021. Never did. I never associated with any guys until 2021.
Well, I'm glad that you decided to branch out.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to. It's just, put away everything. It's like that. So I'm just like dealing here right now, just trying to get healthier, just trying to like stop this illness and getting better. That's what I'm going to do. So the next thing I just need to know where to go next. Where's my home?
Well, the thing is that you look great. I can definitely tell that you feel healthier. You look better. You look healthier. Your skin tone is good. You just, I just think it's awesome. I try to check on your videos every chance I can and watch them and seeing your progression. And I'm really proud
correct.
of you.
I hit 390 today. So
that's awesome.
So that's from 567 to 390. I lost 175 pounds already. I got 195
We're all moving to Janet's farm, just so you know. So that's where your new home's going to be. We're all moving to Janet's farm, and we're just going to build a little colony. and there's going to be free cock.
And I'm in charge of the chickens.
Lots of cock running around.
That's right. I'm in charge of all the chickens. So I'll make sure that we have plenty of chicken to eat and eggs. I can do that. That'll be my job. But can we click on the one for the Sturgis thing? If it's on that list, you saw it in there. Something funny to laugh
waiting to get Sturgis
before we end.
While we're waiting to get the Sturgis one up, I wanted to address Kronos earlier, who asked, did Antifa go to Sturgis? Yes, they did, and they've done it 3 years running. And every single year, they have been overwhelmed by bikers, and they have been escorted off the premise by the police for their own protection because the bikers would fucking kick their asses. And the whole time, Antifa is crying and sniveling. So
Yeah.
they've done.
But why do they keep going?
I don't know, but I would love for the 1 year the cops just to like put their hands up, gesture to the bikers, and be like, "Have at them." And I mean, like, put this shit on pay-per-view. We can fix the fucking economy.
I think so. That's a great idea.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yes.
I believe more violence is needed with Antifa.
I've heard of this
I agree.
place.
With violence, there is endless possibilities.
There is.
Sturgis looks interesting.
I am so saddened. I used to drink this beer. Budweiser showed up
I
with a
never
tent
did.
at a major motorcycle event that the company sponsored in the city of Sturgis in South Dakota. The Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is the world's largest motorcycle rally that began in 1938 by a group of Indian motorcycle riders. It was originally held for stunts and races. Social media erupted as people saw nobody visiting the Budweiser tent or drinking its beer. 0 attendees at the Budweiser tent in Sturgis. One person commented, This may be the biggest marketing blunder of all time. Nope, that would be April 1st, Dylan Mulvaney.
Mhm.
Shocking footage shows the tent with row after row of empty Budweiser booths that have been set up to promote the beer. In April 2023, the parent company, Anheuser-Busch, sparkled controversy by sponsoring transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney by celebrating his 1-year anniversary of womanhood. A womanhood, by the way, which has never once had the knife on his body. Bud Light produced the beer cans to honor Mulvaney's transition from male to female, which led to nationwide boycotts. Give me what I want.
Good. I'm so proud of the bikers for towing the line.
Relates to motorcycle riders. I'll tell you right now, though.
This is great. This is freaking great. Look
Isn't
at that.
it?
Look at all those people.
Why did they think that the biker would actually purchase them? Something from them.
Look at these two.
You get a Sturgis glass in here if you wander in the gay beer booth.
Wait, no, it's trans beer, not gay beer. Trans.
Yeah, it's not gay, it's trans. That's why no one's in it.
No, he's a fucking actor.
Awesome. I think it's awesomeness.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, the funny
So
part
proud of those guys.
is, well, Budweiser and bikers, have had a very long-standing relationship. They
Mhm.
used to make Harley Edition cans, but what they pulled with Dylan Mulvaney, which it's not even about human rights, it's a virtue signal and social conditioning. They fucked themselves, and good. I'm glad to see, because bikers ain't gonna put up with this shit. Bikers are either right wing or live, let live. I just want to do me kind of person. And so they're not going to take this shit being pushed down their throats. So I'm proud of them for towing the line, and that's one more level of humiliation for Bud.
Yeah, I'm proud of them too. I think it's awesome. And they stood their ground. And that's what I tell people all the time. We have got to start standing up and fighting for what we believe. Because that right there proves they can show up and they can build their stuff and buy their product and be sitting out there waiting for us to just lap it up like lap dogs, and we can just walk right by them. I love that.
Yeah, they tried in May of this year. They announced a partnership with Harley Davidson to make limited edition cans to emphasize their grit and resilience. Nobody bought them. Nobody.
Sad. Yeah.
But
they did it to themselves.
Yeah. This entire thing has become a pluralistic endeavor that consists of events put on by many different groups. Attendance has been around 500,000, reaching a high of over 700,000 in 2015. This takes in around $800 million in annual revenue for Sturgis.
That's a lot of money.
The downward spiral of Anheuser-Busch continues as the company agreed to sell 8 of the craft beer brands to Tilray Brands. This cuts down on the company's craft beer portfolio.
In exchange for $85 million, a Canadian cannabis company called Tilray will produce brewery, Blue Point Brewing Company, Tin Barrel Brewing Company, Red Hook Brewery, Woodmere Brothers Brewing, Square Mile Cider Company, and Highball Energy. They aren't simply selling the brands, but the brands, employees, breweries, and associated brew pubs. Lots of money being transacted there, okay? Just want you to understand, like, this is not just the brands of the label. This is real estate that's being transacted.
That was the plan all along.
They announced significant layoffs following nationwide backlash and boycotts, laid off roughly 350 employees. It's unclear if more layoffs are incoming as company sales have tanked, and so far Anheuser-Busch has reportedly fired 2% of the U.S. workforce, primarily in corporate and marketing roles, which is great because the little horse-faced marketing girl that came up with this idea, boy, I love seeing her get busted.
Those are the ones that should get fired.
Yeah.
Not the hardworking delivery guys and stuff. It should, and the ones who make the beer. It should be the people that made the stupid decision to try to cram that kind of crap down families' throats.
But that's the whole idea. You have the people don't understand that beer distributors, there are people who, buy the liquor license for their region. They're hardworking people who do this. They go out there and they stock the grocery stores and bars on their own. They're the one doing it. So they're hurting them and not hurting the company. And that's the sadness. And then but the thing is, it's all part of the plan. The people who make the decision, let's just do this. I don't care what it is. And again, they're going to make money. They sell. They shorted this stock. They did all this stuff. They're doing it on purpose. And who gets hurt? The hardworking American with business owner who put their livelihood on the line. They had a video during this whole crisis that happened that one guy says, I can't feed my family anymore because no one's buying I bought this distributorship, or it's family owned or whatever, and now it's destroyed. Again, it's crazy.
Right. And that's the sad fact. Oh, something else?
That CEO.
Yeah. It's fresh off of WorldNet Daily. Man buys electric vehicle only to ditch it for a gas car during a family road trip. A man and his family ditched their new $115,000 EV during a family road trip in July, switching to a gas-powered rental vehicle after being unable to charge the trucks, according to the CBC. That's our neighbors.
Oh, this is in Canada?
This guy left his 2023 Ford F-150 Lightning Lariat in Minnesota after being unable to charge the EV at two separate charging stations along the way on his family road trip from LaSalle, Manitoba to Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin. Oh my God. If you're going to Wisconsin Dells, you really have, you should have stayed home and saved that money.
Yeah.
Wisconsin Dells, and I'm not reflecting this on Janet or her channel. Wisconsin Dells, if you want to go on a laugh fest, look at the Wisconsin Dells Amusement Park roller coasters, Hercules, Perseus, look at Hades, look at those roller coasters as numerous roller coaster influencers walk around them, because they don't have Wisconsin Dells. This is fucked up. Their lines are set up to be like right up against the track. You can hit the track. You can touch the trains as it zooms past you. You could get your hand cut off, basically. Bolts will fall out. You'll see splinters in the wood as you're walking in the line to the queue to board this high-speed death machine. These guys going to Wisconsin Dells, he had problems already before he even made the financial mistake of the $115,000 electric vehicle, the Lightning Lariat.
God, it's crazy.
He planned his route to stop at charging stations to accommodate the 320-mile range limit that the vehicle has for the battery. And that's when we decided we didn't want any more distraction or any frustration. He said, electric vehicles, new technology. I was impressed with it. That made me buy it. When he tried to charge his truck at a stop in Albertville, Minnesota, he was met with a faulty connection message when he plugged it into the charging station, according to the CBC. He calls the number on the charger. There's a number on the charger. It's a little sticker. Follows the error message. Nobody responds. Well, that inability to charge at the previous stop, he goes to another charging station in Elk River, Minnesota. but was unable to charge there either, according to the CBC. He was then left with only 9 miles of remaining battery, which was not enough to reach another charging station, prompting him to have the vehicle towed to a nearby Ford dealership, and he rented a gas-powered Toyota 4Runner to finish the drive. Robin Nesbitt, sales manager.
Yeah, what do you think's going to happen when they want us to use our semis, for deliveries and stuff, to carry stuff? How are we going to
push it already? They're trying to push it already. They have HEV trucks, HEB, the local Texas company that I worship and buy from their stores. They have some trucks in their fleet that are electric, but they don't go over 100 miles because they just don't have the battery to do that. They don't have enough space on the truck, enough weight allowance on the truck for the battery. So they don't take them but maybe 100 miles a day, and that's it. There's a reason for that. It's a failing process. It's a bad idea, and we're being forced into it by people that have no idea how to engineer anything except for failure and poverty. That's what our government wants us to do. Die and be poor and broke.
Can we address
Robin Nesbitt, sales manager for Wright Hennepin Cooperative Electric Association, checks the usage records for the charger on the day of the visit and notes that other people were able to successfully charge the cards on that day, according to the Canadian Broadcast Company. Ford pushed back production on target for the EVs in July, estimating that the company will produce the vehicles at a rate of 600,000 per year by the end of 2024 instead of the end of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
The Inflation Reduction Act, the Biden administration has given large tax credits to EVs purchasers and production of the batteries used in the cars. Ford did not immediately respond to the request for comment from the Daily Caller News Foundation, and this was originally published by Daily Caller. But I thought this would be a funny story, and it is a funny story because a guy swapped out of a $115,000 electric vehicle to a Toyota 4Runner to complete a trip, which was a bad trip in the first place.
Well, I wanted to ask a question about that. How do you charge your car? You can't fill it up like you do gas. So what do you get to leave it plugged in and stay overnight?
20 minutes, typically 30 minutes, the slow charger. Maybe
I wonder how long it lasts.
About 200, 250 miles for most.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you can't go on very many good trips. I mean,
Well, don't worry.
That's why I want to buy an old truck.
Your 15-minute
wow,
city.
that's really crappy,
There you go. Yeah, you're right.
A hybrid, to me, a hybrid car is way smarter than a
I'm
totally
looking for
electric
hybrid
car.
trucks right now.
Okay.
But
I
can we
mean,
talk-
why are they so adamant to push complete electric when hybrids, we haven't even pushed hybrids at all?
Money.
You know what I mean?
Money.
Yeah, but
Money.
aren't electric
Subsidies.
cars expensive?
They just got a guaranteed payout from the government to take this money to
Oh,
produce
forgot
more
about that.
shitty vehicles.
Mhm.
They got paid by the government. They were paid up front to make these shitty vehicles.
Yeah,
And
and they
put them
did that too with that Solyndra or whatever to make all those
Mhm.
solar panels
Mhm.
and all that. Didn't we bail all those people out? Are they any
Yeah,
of them still in
We
business?
bailed them out. We bailed them out.
Yeah, the taxpayers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Us. But can we talk real quick about the very inhumane side of all this EV electric stuff? And that is the child slavery that is digging these toxic materials out. These kids have no PPE. They are doing it with their bare hands. Kids as young as 3 years old over in the Congo, over in Zaire, are in these mines that are they are bad environmentally, the runoff from these mines, getting the cobalt, getting the lithium for these batteries. And literally we are aiding, anyone who is pro this and is contributing to it are complicit in letting these kids be enslaved. And I'm just going to point out, this is the same people who are sitting here calling anyone who doesn't agree with them a racist and says we want to go back to the 1800s and enslave certain groups of people, are the ones literally championing for this technology, or the world's going to boil. And they are literally putting kids in fucking slavery, mining toxic materials. Can we just talk about that for a second?
yeah, and it's not just that. You've got kids making Nike tennis shoes. And they're selling those for $900 a pair
Oh yeah. I'm seriously
on
disappointed in my
child
nieces.
labor.
My nieces like show me their macaroni art and like, look what I made in kindergarten today, and I'm like holding up my iPhone saying that's what Mei Ling made in kindergarten today.
Yeah, it's awesome to be able to do that. But I feel bad for all these kids because these groups, they're making all this money off of them. They don't seem to give a crap whether a kid spent,
Well,
12
neither
hours
does
a
this
day
loving,
digging
equitable
in the
left.
ground for, chemicals that
Well,
they
the
can
loving,
make
equitable
their
left
battery.
doesn't either. The loving, equitable left, the everyday lefty who's like, oh, we all need to stop driving cars and get electric, who talk about how much they love everybody in this world and how we're the racists because we don't agree with them. Like I said, they are helping put these kids in slavery. And, another thing with green energy is avocados. This is causing the water stress in California, and it's causing water stress in the Latin Peninsula. It's being sold to us as healthier than cows, and it's not. It's better for the environment and the water table than cows. No, it's not. And again, in Latin America, slavery. There are people enslaved on avocado plantations. And as much as I love an avocado, I mean, it tastes good. I actually have stopped eating avocado because I don't want to give into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're really good at hiding all that, aren't they?
Yes,
You don't see the news talking about any of this stuff.
No expose, no nothing going on. That's why I basically say, like myself, I'm trying to get rid of everything. I want to basically only have my computer, my camera, my phone, and that's it. And I don't need anything else. I've not lost interest in everything else. I'm just basically saying I'm done, and I'm sick and tired of it. And you're right, Biker Dad. The fact that I made a video at the beginning of the year saying I've been in technology my entire life. I may have contributed to something, built something that caused a problem. So I want to tone to it by basically getting some land, living on my own, having my own land, living on my own means, and then everything I make, I would give to charities and help out people. It's my intention to do that. So that's what I want to do. And then now I'm saying it. Why isn't no one's talking about this? The media's talking about it. That Sound of Freedom, conspiracy theory. Cobalt, conspiracy theory. It's all like they don't want us to know the truth, and I want to tell the truth. Be like a Julian Assange of here in America that will expose all this crap. It's sick. It's sickening.
I mean,
and you're right,
dude. It really speaks to the quote in 1984 by Orwell. The truth will, or the lies will, the party of the Ministry of Truth dealt in lies.
Yes.
You are the crazy one,
right?
I mean,
and that's why
not only the Sound of Freedom. All these cases are documented. These are real kids that are just. I can't wait for their stories to be told because they're all on the cusp of coming of age.
Well, they were told before. 60 Minutes. He got Tim Ballard was on 60 Minutes back in 2017 or 2015, around there. Or no, even earlier than that.
Yeah.
You were talking about this. This movie was made many years ago, yet somebody shelved it because no, we can't talk about this because again, it's all
Disney. It was Disney.
Yeah, Disney can go fucking off.
So the thing is that the truth always comes out. It just sometimes it takes a long time, but it will always come out if you're willing to keep fighting to get it out. Just like what was it? Who was it that said about Roe v. Wade going back to the States?
Mm-hmm.
It took us a long time, 50 something years, to finally get it to where it wasn't being forced upon us because it shouldn't have been. It should be go back to the states. The states are the ones that should be able to control that type of thing, not the federal government. And I really think there's a lot more things that we need to take away from the federal government and put back into our hands in our states.
Here's the lies, more lies. I was walking through a hotel lobby this week, and the big screen TV is on there, and the local news is on. And the anchor said, ever since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade and made abortion illegal, is what the newscaster said. This
I know. That's what I hate. I hate that. And it's not true. That is lies. But see, they're allowed to say that because of the was Smith-Mundt Act that was signed into law because of Obama. They don't have to be truthful.
I mean, well,
You know?
silver lining, I'm just going to throw this out there. But the people who are all transing their kids and letting their kids get trans, and the people going out and getting abortions are people in this little cult over here. So, silver lining is they don't pass on their shitty genes. They have no one to inherit their shitty ideals. So, maybe if we play the long game.
Well, yeah, but I do believe that. I do believe that eventually those people that push those types of things are going to eventually die out because they're not creating more lives. You know what I'm saying? They're and they're taking away more lives by indoctrinating yours and I's children. So as long as we keep fighting for our kids, you know, we will be successful. We'll be able to start over again without those.
Now, I know that in the early 50s and 60s, when they had was it I can't remember, Stonewall, when they were really going after gay people at the very beginning, and that changed because we saw the horror of that. People let people be who they are. But again, I want to ask you, Biker Dad, in the realm of men. Most gay men are happy and most lesbians aren't. And the reason I believe, in my opinion, is because they're told that they're being oppressed by the patriarchy. And because again, if you walk into a gay bar and the guys are there, they're having a good time. I've been in a lot of bars like that. I was and they're happy, have a good time, and we could sing and dance.
Me and my girlfriends used to hang out at gay bars all the time because they knew how to have a good time.
Exactly,
they know how to have fun.
But again, that's the whole idea. Are the fact that mainly we're at the point now that the majority of people that we have, it's not 50-50, it's more women than men. And that because again, men die earlier because again, we're doing more dangerous stuff, but they're basically they're poisoning women to be angry all the time. So are you seeing that?
To me, it's more of them trying to brainwash women and thinking they have no choice in life. That either you have to be, or that they know that they either can have stay at home, be a homemaker, and wait a hand and foot on your man, or take control of your own life and have your own house and have your own money and do things for yourself. Okay. And have a selfish attitude, selfish feelings. And when you have women like that, they can't get a man because they're bitches. You know what I mean? They're assholes. I mean, I can tell you right now, I went on a date with a guy, and it was in high school. And I just remember him. I was sitting with him, and we were, just riding along, listening to music. And he lifted his hand up, and he was looking at his hand. Okay, he was a quarterback on a football team, and he was like, "What a nice hand! Isn't that a nice looking hand?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." And then he looked at himself in the mirror, and he was primping a little bit. He was like, like that. I was like, I'm never going out with this guy again.
Yeah,
because he was stuck on himself,
But you think, but most men have that confidence, even though they may be not attractive.
No,
they have
it's the wrong kind of confidence. A guy that look at this muscle. I'm going to go out there and kill us a grizz. That would be different. You know what I'm saying? Go out and get a deer or something like that and cook up, barbecue, some deer meat. That's something. Just like
that's I'm hungry now. Jesus.
But if I could go out and pick a big bowl of blueberries or blackberries and bring them in and say, guess what? Let's make some blueberry muffins or something.
Or how about
that doesn't make me less of a woman. You know what I mean? I'm still a woman. Just because I wanted to pick berries and make something with it.
We cannot affirm that you were a woman without a biologist, all right? Just so you know. And
that's what I said. Without a DNA test. You have to do DNA nowadays.
I'm going to derail the
scary.
conversation because I've noticed one of our good friends, Rancor Steve, is in the audience, and he also sent me a text and said, "I'm watching you live, brother." And I want to say, Steve, quit touching yourself to me. What part of 30 yards at all time do you not understand, dude? But, you know, to answer the question, Hayes, that or Ruben, that you had, I believe that really this all comes down to Marxism. Everything post second wave feminism birthed gender ideology, which tied the gay community and the transsexual community together. And even back in the 90s, they didn't want to do that. The trans people didn't want to do it. The gays and lesbians didn't want to do it. But we were forced to because of this gender ideology that was born by straight women who were feminists in academia in the 80s and 90s. And then they started intersectional feminism, started all of this self-ID. So now people who aren't really trans, and that's most of these crazies you're seeing today, are out there saying, I'm trans, I'm non-binary, demigirl. And Marxism is weaponizing all of these groups of people against other people right now. Now, like right now, I'm watching, like a feminist on Twitter attack a gay man. And now trans rights activists have gotten in on fighting her, and the gays are fighting her. And I'm like, telling the gays, just stay out of this fight. Let the trans rights activists, who are garbage human beings, and let these radical feminists, who are garbage human beings, just fight each other. Just let them go at it.
Why not?
Why not? Because
just like you said, sell tickets.
But it's capitalizing on oppression. If they can convince you that you are oppressed and society hates you, then you're good. And the only way to be saved is by your betters, which in this case would be the state, saving you. Then there you go. It makes more acolytes and apostles for the state. And we saw it happen with BLM, and all the high-ranking BLM people were trained Marxists. All of these feminists, all of these gender-critical people, they are all trained Marxists. And the sad part is, I'm speaking here from a millennial. We kind of got fucked in the thing, going to college, getting useless degrees that we, can't really pay back. Now, at this point in time, I'm going to sit here and say, if you're going for a gender critical, like lesbian interpretive dance theory degree, fuck you. You are setting yourself up for a life of debt. But like the tail end of Gen X and millennials, well, the alarming part is 1/3 of the whole Democrat Party are all socialists. I mean, actual goddamn fucking socialists. And they're all my generation, 39-ish and below, because they want big daddy government to save them. So this is effectively working very well, and we need to fucking unlearn this, and quick. But do you want to know what? I'm glad to see groups of people are standing up and resisting, saying, no, I'm not oppressed. So, the pushback is happening and the awakening is happening. We just need to be a lot faster.
Yeah, and I want to do something about it. I know what I can do, but I want to know. It's like I'm saying, I'm trying to find a home and just trying to start to do stuff like I help out my community or whatever, because I never done it before and I never had a home. Or never participated to a home, but I want to basically do something like that because I think it's time now, because I don't want to be complaining anymore. I want to do something about it. That's the whole point.
But you are.
I am.
You are doing something. It's the day that you decided to start taking control of yourself in your own health care and everything else, that it all changed for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. Because again,
that's great. And the fact that you're recording your journey for others is even better, because now you can help other people through your journey, and they won't make the same mistakes that you made because you would have helped them.
That is the point. That is the point of my video. So because again, I'm not depending on anybody. Because again, I'm the perfect victim theoretically. My wife passed away, no family. My mother and father are dead, and then I got sick. And everyone told me go on disability, and I said, "Why? I can still do stuff. And they go, no, you can't." And then I fought, and I again to tell you the things that I've been through in the last 2 years, you'd horrify you, because the things I put up with. Because again, being sick, and then talking to the doctors, and they say, well, you refuse to have surgery. They want to remove all these organs inside me. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do it myself. So I just said, fuck you all. I'm doing it my own. And then again, I'm paying the price because I'm basically, struggling. But I'm going to fight back. So that's basically it. So thank you. That's the point of my video, is to basically say there is a brighter tomorrow. I believe in a better tomorrow. I believe there's someone out there that will embrace me and take me in as a partner and then make it happen. That's my goal. And that's why I want to continue to lose the weight, so I can be that man and come back.
That's right. It's in your hands. And that's what I try to tell people every day. It's up to each of us to take our own lives and do with it what we feel we need to. I mean,
especially if you're up in Canada, you are now legally allowed to take your own life.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't it Oregon, the one state where you're allowed to do assisted suicide? So we do have that in the States. But the thing is, if you want to lose weight, it's up to you. It's like me. I started working out. I stopped smoking, and I still love wine and stuff like that. No, I don't drink a lot, but I like wine, and
we know about your addiction to coffee.
Well, I have to correct you there. You're still smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she is gorgeous.
But the thing is, it's I tell people all the time, just be yourself, because you're the only one of you ever. Even twins aren't exactly the same. They still, I've seen them want to go, wow, I want to get that tattoo, or I want to dye my hair that way. And they're identical twins, but they both have different wants. So they're not exactly the same. I don't care what someone says. They're not. They're different. I have had many friends that were twins, and they're not the same. They have different likes and needs, and we all have to take care of ourselves.
Well, this ties into what Ruben was just talking about, as he is on a journey of getting better and healthier. But in our comments, Wade said, make masculinity great again. And, that talks to what you were saying, Janet. You want a man who's going to fucking go out there and, bag a deer. And then instead of making blueberry, raspberry that you picked muffins, how about you make a compote to put on his venison? And see, that's the thing. When two souls meet together, we find a kinship, whether it's two men meeting as friends or gay lovers, or a man and a woman meeting and becoming lovers, two women meeting, becoming friends or lovers. We have a give and take and a complementary, I'm not sure the right word, a symbiotic relationship. We complement each other. And we make up for strengths, as well as share the same capacities and abilities. Like Janet, you are absolutely capable of going out there and killing a deer. I believe.
Yeah, I've done it.
And you've done it.
But what I love one thing I love that you said was that you, every one of the scenarios that you said the same thing that I say, is that you should be friends.
Absolutely. You
because
should be able.
What I see in society now, and I've said this many, many times, is with Tinder and all these other apps, people are starting their relationship in the middle. Right away, they're meeting up to hook up, right? They don't know each other. They know nothing about each other, but they're willing to share what should be the most wonderful gift you could give another person, is yourself. Right.
Right.
And I know you feel the same way, because I think about it and I just get goosebumps, because it's a special thing that's very rare when you get to have that with another person and be friends. And let's say you both love comic books, or you both love scary movies. You both love doing things outdoors, hunting, fishing, whatever it is. You're friends too.
You and I met because me and my friend Renee, and I do not know how you found our thread, but I was turning Pinocchio into an eldritch terror demon that Geppetto summoned into the world. Remember that? And I was doing the Father, I need flesh to become a real boy. And that is how you and I became friends.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can miss out on so many great things in your life simply because you don't even look.
Right. But, speaking back to these dating apps, well, one thing, going way back into the conversation right now, because we were talking about the trans being forced on
Yeah.
many gay apps right now. You must be into trans. Like it can, it asks you, what are you attracted to? What are you into? What scenes are you into?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be like leather, bikers, bears, twinks, jocks, daddies, whatever it is, you must select trans. And our apps have been overrun by straight women saying they are men trying to hook up with gay men. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. But kind of going into this, I hate those dating apps that you just talked about, Tinder and everything, because everyone is so direct. And I actually get off on antagonizing the gay men. Like they're like
I
they
know.
won't even say
that about
hi.
you.
They won't even say hi to me. They'll be like, "Are you hung?" And I will say, like an innocent woman during the Salem witch trials. I mean, like, I just antagonize those assholes because it's so much fun. Because it's
Yeah,
so
exactly. Hey, it's the
Really?
same thing
So they
for
do that?
us.
Jeez.
Same thing for us because
That's
I just get tired of all the bullshit.
yeah.
I don't know. People want to just rush through everything because all they're wanting to do is hook up. If all you want to do is hook up, then yeah, use those apps. But don't start something with someone that you know is not interested in just to hook up.
Right.
Don't pull other people's heartstrings just to get your jollies.
Exactly.
See, to me, I don't think that's right. I think people should not play with other people's emotions. They should become.
We're breeding a
once
society
you know
that is
someone,
excellent. We're breeding a society
right.
that's excellent for narcissists
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
sociopaths.
That's exactly
They
right.
can flourish in this society. And
Yep.
it's a shame
I
because,
see
like you
more
said,
of them.
Janet, everything that has made Bruce, and everything that has made you Janet, and everything that's made Ruben, and everything that's made me Biker Dad throughout our whole life experience, every trauma, every joy, every experience that we have learned from that has brought us does in fact make us, as cliche as it sounds, a unique snowflake. And we are, like the best gift. And it really is a shame that this is a world where it's hard to get close to another human being, and every single thing they keep seeming to throw at us makes it harder to get close to another human being. Because Ruben, he just wants to find himself a nice little farm somewhere and know a good group of people and be around those good groups of people. Janet, you and me talk very often about things like niche neighborhoods and meeting genuine loving people, and the fights I am involved in and how deep I am in those fights. We all, it is just a shame that it keeps everything divides us from other human beings, even these screens. It's a shame we all can't be sitting in a nice smoky room right now with a couple of scotches and being broadcast, as they all just like watch us like an old school talk show, like Johnny Carson should be hosting us.
Yeah.
I know, but to me, I look at it differently a little, because to me, I see 4 people brought together, thankfully, because of the internet. We're able to do this. And look at all the people that have been in and out of our chat tonight, listening to us, talking to us, sharing things with us, all because of the internet. So internet isn't as bad as some people make it sound. You know what I mean? We can use the internet for good things. We can learn things, share things. And I love it. And if it hasn't been for Bruce helping me learn so much about how to do this, what we're doing right now, and his girlfriend at the time is the reason why we met. So it just really, to me, it's just wonderful. And how we meet each other, just by being in a chat room. Me and Ruben met. We were chatting because we both watched a show that we both enjoyed and laughed a lot. And we all met and talking to each other in a big chat room, watching a show. So, and look, now we're on a show together. See, I just think it's awesome. And I try to take the best of everything I can get. And
I look forward to Friday for this. This is very important.
Me too. I look forward to Mondays with Bruce every week. I love it. I thrive because of it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if I made it sound like the internet is just full of nothing.
No. But the thing is, the fact that you were saying how we could all be together and sitting in the same room. I say that a lot. I say that we need to do like meet and greets and
Mhm.
set them up. And like
Yeah, that's
in,
a
you
good
know,
thing.
like in 4 or 5 states, if you're in those states and you're all friends and you've met on the internet, set up a big meet and greet where you go somewhere for 2 days and you stay the night and you have a big barbecue or whatever and just hang
Murder
out.
mystery dinner.
How much? Yeah, a murder mystery dinner or something. I just think it's
Yeah.
great because we've already got this connection. And if I heard your voice in a crowd of people, I go, oh my God, hey, Dad's here. I'd be able to find you in a group of people simply because I recognize what you sound like.
Well, you know,
And I
I
just
just,
think it's cool.
I
Yeah, that
just want to
happened.
say
That's
You're right.
at our meetings,
Mhm.
these potential meetings, Kronos said, this isn't an orgy. And I'm going to say to Kronos, don't tell our patriot boners what to do, Kronos.
Well, that's what
Oh.
happened in Vegas in 21 when I basically, because again, I was broken. And then I basically was sitting in the hospital watching,
Mhm.
FNT, and then basically mentioned going to Vegas. So I basically just, left the hospital and then just, went to Vegas. And I basically said, you know what? I haven't talked to anybody in ever really, except for my
Mhm.
wife and my friend.
Yeah.
That's basically, it's very singular. So then I never talked to a guy in my life, basically never had a guy friend in my life until Vegas. And I basically, let me try and go out there. So I said I did. So yeah, it basically changed my life, and the best thing, well, but I don't want it to end. That's the best thing. And because everything else has ended to me. So that's why I want to keep it going.
Well, I
That's
wanted
it.
to go to Vegas. I had bought tickets. I was so excited. I had tickets to go to the Star Trek convention the same time that they were going to have the meet and greet, from the Geeks and Gamers and
Yes.
Nerdrotic and all them. And I had plans to go to their meet and greet and go do my Star Trek stuff. I had costumes and everything ready. I bought VIP tickets. I had a suite, and I was going to have
Yeah.
a party up in my suite and let
Oh, man.
Nerdrotic and everybody come up there and hang out and all that stuff. And
I would be
then
all
I
over
was
that.
told I had to wear a mask or I had to have a shot and prove I had a shot to go to the
Screw that.
convention. And so I said, oh, well. I'm not
Oh, the
going.
Star Trek convention. Yeah.
Yeah. So I gave my tickets to Nerdrotic and his wife so they could go and get tickets taken and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
I
just
didn't get to go.
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
go
I
for it.
didn't go. I
Because I was
didn't even go because I
unvaxxed.
knew. Oh my God.
So I was heartbroken over it because was looking forward to that for so long. Every single time we got together on Friday nights, I was like, I'm so excited. I got tickets. I was so happy.
Yeah,
And then it was all taken from me because I didn't get the shot.
I wouldn't comply with that either, Janet. I've remained completely without any of those shots, and for a little get together, I'm not gonna inject something I don't know is inside it into my body and possibly irrevocably change me forever. So I am 200% with you. I was disinvited from weddings and family events and everything like that. So I feel it, but not worth it. And I want to take the conversation back just a second, but like Ruben, I would seriously like to encourage you to go out and find other friends. Like there is a kinship that men need with other men. There's a kinship that women need with other women, and I think you would really benefit in your journey from other men to be around and learn from and exchange with. Because again,
I gotta find him. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't have
Yeah.
any. Yeah, because I never
know.
did. I only through member streams or who was it? Mac Fowler, Falbo Productions. That one he has there with the Everett Cocktail Lounge and all that stuff. That's what I do, but I haven't done it in person. So that's what I need to start doing. That is that's anything
Well, if I like Wade's idea in the chat. He says if we can't find you a real one, we're just going to kidnap you, a homeless person, and give him to you. you gotta just this time poke holes in the lid of the jar so he doesn't suffocate. Okay.
You gotta make sure you remember to feed them.
Well,
And
for
do
me,
not put this homeless person in the microwave.
well, for me, it's always been what attracts me. What I yearn for is the female. It's always the woman. It's always
Well, of course.
Yeah,
See,
that's the
I
thing.
grew up, all my friends were mostly guys. I took shop and agri. I hunted, I
right.
squirrel hunted, did all that stuff. But I had 4 sisters. So
Right.
You
I
got your
wasn't
female fix
missing
at
out.
home.
Yeah. I had plenty of interaction with girls. But you know, I learned how to change the oil in a truck, you know, all that
I
kind
can
of
see
stuff.
Janet right now going,
But
I
that's
am
the
up
one
to my
thing.
tonsils in estrogen. I'm out to go hang with the boys. And she just like puts her, turns her ball cap backwards.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I just put my ball cap on, and I would wear my hair in a ponytail. That's it, you know, and
Well,
some
that's the one. But the one thing for
jeans, tennis
me,
shoes, or cowboy boots.
yeah,
That's what
it
I
was all
wore.
because I never because I in high school and in grade school and high school I never talked to anybody because they were just morons. So
Yeah.
that's a thing. No, I'm serious. That's a thing. So if I meet
No.
somebody and I can't have a conversation with them, I shut down. I don't even talk to them anymore. So that's what I do. I just basically don't have a conversation. I don't care if they're a model or whatever. I can't deal with vapidness at all. If they don't have, I can't talk to you.
Well,
then
you know, I mean,
no.
just to me, the benefit. Now, I understand your craving of
Soulful friendship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I sorry, my whole screen went like, you know, circle.
Yeah, I have.
circle.
Have you guys heard that? Can you hear the thundering and stuff?
No,
Every
no,
so
I
often?
do not.
Okay, because I think we
But-
got some storms moving in.
But well, I understand your desire for the female company for more intimate stuff. You know, there's a great brotherhood and bonding with other men going out to hunt with. I mean, everything I learned about rebuilding a motorcycle, it was taught to me by, you know, brother buddy type guys throughout my life and father type figures.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's who taught me how to hunt and how to dress a deer. I don't even need to take them to a processor and pay, you know, the goddamn fee and lose about a third of my meat to somebody. I can do the whole goddamn deer at home. And there is just this wonderful brotherhood of being with other men that I think you should explore because you can learn so much about the arts of masculinity and yourself
Yeah.
just by being with another man.
That's what I want to do. As soon as I leave here and find a home and move there, I want to go to a red state, of course. And then, you know, I was in Florida, but you know, that didn't work out that much because I was sick. I
There's
was
a
too
few
sick
of them
down there.
left.
I
There's a few
recommend
red
Tennessee.
left.
Hmm?
I recommend Tennessee. Tennessee needs more red men. Texas needs more red men, but like there's a necessity for people like Tennessee. You've got the 4 seasons, so like you're not escaping winter's wrath. You're going to deal with winter. You've got the hills and you've got the wonderful mountains, and you have you know, things to deal with. But the variety of nature available in Tennessee lends it to a better quality of single woman as opposed to the trollops which infest San Antonio, which is why I tell you not to come to San Antonio, because you have a 280-pound woman who thinks that she thinks that she's an honest 7, and she's you know, got like 5 kids, 4 baby daddies, and she's upset that the last guy she was with wouldn't get her on the TRICARE. You know, she's just, they're all angry fucking trollops. They look miserable. They've got like, you know, that fupa thing going on. They got like a big fat hanging tits that you can see in their like small little shirt. They got the belly exposed,
happy
they're
sack
poking out the
boobs.
bottom. They've got no ass. It's like the natives here, the native Indians here. I don't know how they fucked that up, but like the women have no ass. It's like a straight down shot from the L6.
I've got to see some of these pictures.
No. Fucking Charles Barkley is so correct whenever he talks about the ugly women in San Antonio. Do not marry a woman from San Antonio.
I just want to
I was
point out
thinking
that
South Missouri. I was thinking that. I don't know. Or
Well,
South
a
Dakota.
Missouri girl,
I love
don't go for a girl
Tennessee.
from Rolla, but like, you know, I could see you hitting it off with a girl from like maybe Columbia. She's got a couple years of college and she realized it's a scam, so she got out, and she's a hiker. She got out. She's got a big butt because she climbs all the time and hikes all the time. The Missouri, Tennessee girls will do you some good.
Yeah, Kentucky, Tennessee, those are 2 places I really love. I also want to point out in the chat that 6 Nations, 31 Kings,
meant to say male bonding is necessary for male growth, but he said male bondage is necessary.
I know. I saw that
I'm like,
too.
that's hot. That's hot. That's hot.
I was like, do you have what ideas did you have in mind? That's what I was gonna
Well,
ask.
I will not deny that maybe once or twice I have tied a man over my motorcycle.
Just to run over them.
It was innocent. I don't know how it happened. You know, just suddenly bungee cords, foot pegs, and
Bungee cords. That's interesting.
Yeah. I know an older, not old friend, someone I used to work with, not theoretically when I was doing because again, I use cannabis because again, I got my medical card because I get my illness, I can get it and I don't want to take the medication. But she contacted me because she saw my journey and she wants to go out and do something. And I'm basically trying to not do anything bad. I want to basically go out and have a good time, but more normal, not the hookup culture bullshit. So I'm contemplating it. I'd hope that it doesn't, well, I don't know. I got to figure it all out.
Well, one thing that's always fun and good and can be healthy is cooking a meal together.
That's what I want to do. That's the thing.
Invite
That's the
her
thing.
over for dinner and make something you haven't made in a very long time and show her how to make it.
Yeah. That's what you got it. That's my type of thing. And that's the cooking together thing is the most, beautiful thing to do. That's what
it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. And
my wife,
I'm not a very good cook, but
it results the cooperation in cooking a meal together really is something magical because at the end you literally birth something. And you look and you're like, you and I did that together, babe. And that's
we created it.
Exactly.
I mean, and then you get to enjoy it and eat it together.
Yeah, me and my brother and sister, all three of us are really good in the kitchen. Probably my little brother is the best out of like a lot of people you might meet in your life. And the three of us, just what we can accomplish in the kitchen together is, brothers and sisters, all three of us cooking and getting things together. It's just absolute magic happens. And the jokes, the quips, the everything that we do when cooking a meal together, it almost feels almost like we're little kids again playing cooperative video games.
Yeah. I think that'd be fun. Be a really good get together. Is invite her to come over and cook dinner.
Yeah, I'll see. I'm pessimistic. Not pessimistic. I'm just being very. What's the right guarded? Not guarded. What's the right word? Just realistic.
You sound nervous.
You sound sad.
You sound like you're nervous to.
No, I'm not nervous at all. I'm not nervous. I just know things can go really, really sadly. I mean, really, really badly. That's all I think.
What are you
expecting? You can go badly.
Well, again. What? Excuse me.
Are you expecting you'll be tied up in the bed and like she'll be standing over you with like a length of wood between your ankles and holding a hammer?
No, but if that's all she wants, then I'll be very disappointed.
No, that won't be. She contacted you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I don't think that's all she wants.
She's hinting at it, so I'm just like,
is her name?
That might be something extra to go with it, but I don't think that's all she wants.
Okay.
Yeah, you can make dinner and then dessert.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I know. I'm just very much,
and try not to read
too
much into it.
I'm very old fashioned. That's the thing. I'm very old fashioned.
That's one thing I do is I worry too much.
What are you drinking there, Bruce?
Bruce can admit that. Yingling.
This is
non-gay beer. Well, Ruben, you won't know until you try.
I know.
So do like me and Jenna have to come over there and like push you out of the nest like a baby bird?
No.
Come dinner with her.
No. No, I'm just trying to be very cautious and just being very open. And if I feel a red flag, let me retract that. my radar for red flags is very, very sensitive. So if I see
Mhm.
something that doesn't jive with me, I'll just walk away. I'll you know, yeah, that's my thing.
Well,
Just
just
because
be
again, I want,
yourself. Just
yeah,
be
that's
you,
true.
and everything
That's
will
true.
be fine. Just be
That's true. And that's
yourself.
why,
That's it.
but that's what I'm doing now. I'm basically decided that, you know, I want to lose the weight and or lose the tumors. Basically, I'm shrinking these tumors basically by myself, and then I'll make it happen. And then
Mhm.
I'm going to basically put myself out there. And if I already know who I would like to be with, but then, you know, or the kind of woman I would like to be with, and then we'll see what happens, you know. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And then you know, I'm just going to move on, just, you know, do my thing.
Yeah, well, what I'm going to send you, Ruben, is going to be the crazy hot matrix. You absolutely must avoid strippers, hairdressers, and girls
Commit
named
that to
Tiffany.
memory. You must commit this
Yeah,
to memory.
yeah,
Keep it secret. Keep it
yeah, yeah.
safe.
Unicorns
I
don't
know.
exist. And you know, let's see, looking at the comments, the crafting gamer said, I'm old fashioned myself. I don't believe sex should be on the first date or even the third, because a woman who don't kiss on the very first date is usually a hussy, and the woman who'll kiss on the second time around is anything but fussy. But the girl who waits for the third time around, she's the one you're glad you're found. She's your shapoopy. Everybody, I encourage you to go out there and find your shapoopy. Bruce, soy-based Jeremy
Aw.
asked, what's the best vlogger, Bruce?
I answered him in the chat.
Oh,
My favorite
didn't see that.
blogger is out of
You know, I
Rochester,
actually
Dunedin, New
played
York.
that musical. I played in that musical. I was in the pit.
Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy.
See, guys, now you're understanding why I just adore Gay Dad. He is.
I got
such
a
good
quote for
human
everything.
being. I
Oh my God.
really love him. He
No,
can make
but I
me
love.
happy when I'm sad just by talking to me, because
I played
he's
the
so
pit.
joyful and has so much knowledge.
Yeah, I played in the pit in
Mhm.
Music Man, in Oklahoma, and Man of La Mancha. All three of those, and it was a lovely experience just to play in the orchestra. God, it was so good.
Mhm.
And again, it's different. They're different. Again, playing those pieces in the actual musical is different than the movies. The movies change it. Oh, King and I too. My God, King and I was the number one best thing experience of my life. My God. But all four of those, just playing in the orchestra pit, was great. And that was college and after college, it was a wonderful time, enjoying it.
Just real quick, thank
fun.
you, Obi-san. That's mighty kind of you. Appreciate it. You said buy me a beer.
There you go.
Yeah, I love
Oh.
alcohol. It's the cause and solution to all of life's problems.
Because right now the gang, or not the gang, but a lot of people are down right now in Houston with Anime Missouri, and I know that they're going to have one in Wisconsin in November, a meetup area.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? Yeah, so that's one I want to go to.
Who's all going to be in that one?
Gary's going because he has family in Wisconsin. He's going to have a meetup there, and then he's going to have one around Christmas time in San Antonio. He said.
Okay, I think that's the one I heard about.
That may change, but you never know.
Texas one, because I can get to that one for sure. That one's close.
I'll get you the cheapest hotel. I'm sorry, Janet. Don't have a couch. Replace the couch with gaming table, but I'll get you the nicer of the inside the city hotels. I can get you one of the nicer ones at a good price.
One at an Airbnb.
I have a couple of those apps. You know, that helps you find a hotel.
Yeah. Oh
wow! Did you hear that?
What?
Yes, I heard that. I heard it.
That was lightning, because my whole side of my room lit up, and then the sound that scared me. So it's in the back of my house.
And the next you know, the tree's going to come through the window and grab your husband, and then the closet's going to suck you in.
Well, I'm in the other room, and my daughter's in the other room, probably sleeping.
Aww.
Well, maybe not after that. It was scary. But I didn't put my chickens away tonight either. So when I'm done with this, I got to go make sure they're all put up.
Do you need like a minute to put them away? We can hold down the fort.
No, it's okay. I can hear a lot of something going on outside. I don't know if that's wind. I'm gonna listen. Maybe it's raining.
Began to switch.
That storm.
Then a witch came flying on her
But,
broomstick, thumbing
I was
for-
going to say, we've been at it almost 3 hours. Are you guys ready to call it a night?
Sure thing. It was a
Because
lot of fun.
I'm getting really tired and my eyes are watering and my nose is starting to get stuffed up.
Oh no!
Yep, we hit that moment where Janet is having biological shutdown. So
Yeah, it's my allergies. I can't help it. As soon as my medicine starts to wear off, I start falling apart.
Janet is starting to close down.
yeah, Janet, make sure you do double on your meds when you can come down to San Antonio, because we are a hellish city for allergy sufferers.
Well, I
don't
went
know
to
if you-
Florida and I did pretty good down there.
We have something up here called mountain cedar, which the Czechs brought over from Bavaria because they wanted
Yeah, I'm allergic to cedar.
they wanted the trees like what they had at home, because the mesquite wasn't doing them any favors. And so they brought all these invasive species of plants and such. And the South Texas is getting taken over by cedar. Just saying, guys, if you colonize anywhere in South Texas, you got cedar growing on your property, just do yourself a favor, cut it down and throw it in your barbecue pit. It'll be better
Do
for
you
you.
have a lot of kudzu in Texas
We
too?
do.
Yeah, that's one thing I've seen more and more of as each time I drive to Florida. It seems like it's getting farther and farther south.
Yeah.
It's covering everything. You know what I mean? Because it just covers everything. You got to have a lot of goats to eat all that kudzu.
Yes, we need more
But,
goats.
But I
Well,
wanted
that's-
everybody to be able to tell everybody what you're doing on your channel, if you have a channel, and what you got planned for the next week. Starting with, I'll start with our guest, Gay Dad, since he's the guest tonight. What are your plans for this next week, Dad?
My next plans for or my week for my plans for the coming week are it's a very heavy loaded work week, so you're not going to see much of me on except for like random posts when I have time or downtime at work. I'll be working 12-hour days every day next week, and then the following week my brother and his wife are both teachers. They
Mhm.
start school the week before their daughters, so I'm going down for the not next week but the week after to play super uncle and babysit their daughters while they're away at school, and just get some bonding time in with the kids and everything like that.
Awesome. That sounds great.
I love
Okay.
them. I love them.
So I can hear your baby in the background too. But that's a dog, right? Dad?
Me?
Yeah,
No,
don't you have a dog?
I don't have any pets. No.
Whose dog is growling?
Yeah, not mine.
Is that yours, Bruce?
I don't have a dog.
I'm far
Oh,
too
I thought you
busy.
had I keep thinking I heard a dog growling or something.
I'm far too busy and far too sporadic to have a pet. So
Did you hear it, Ruben? Didn't
I
you
didn't
hear
hear
a dog or something? I heard something. I
I
thought
didn't hear. I don't know.
maybe I have a gremlin because I don't have anything like that inside. So, what is your plans, Ruben?
Oh, well, I continue to do my videos. I do 3 videos a day on YouTube and Rumble. I do my weight loss channel, my weight loss quest. I've been doing that for 14 years now, before I got sick. And then now, like I said, today I'm 390. I started my videos back in this time around in February of 2022. And, I was 567 at the time. Now I'm 390, and I'm going to continue down. I want to be Mr. 199, which is one of the Twitter accounts I have. And I have my main channel here on YouTube. And then I do Rumble. Everything goes to Rumble. And I do a 6 on Rumble where I talk about everything that I got banned from Twitter, still get banned. I had a week suspension about 3 weeks ago for me saying something about, against the CDC. And, they take me down. So then I save that video, put on Rumble. Here's Rumble exclusive now. I'm going to continue to do that. So I have videos all over. I post every day. And basically it's all about my weight loss channel is about my getting rid of these tumors, coming back from illness. My main channel is about, men's health, men's issues, trying to help out and just trying to reach out and find out what I'm going to do with my life. And then Rumble's all about everything else. I got 7 channels there. I'm going to put content out there coming up soon. So find me on YouTube, find me on Rumble, find me on Twitter or X.
Awesome. That's great. Keep up the good work. Okay, Bruce, it's your turn.
Well,
like to-
I want to donate any of the proceeds we received for tonight to the family of Craig Robertson of Utah. And I really wish that the FBI would pick on people that are not requiring a walker. This reminds me of the BLM murder of Mr. Bundy about 8 years ago. Aside from that cheery point, if you like me, if you like watching me paint figures badly, if you enjoy hearing a friend of mine rant tomorrow night on my channel, you can view me and Chimerian. We will have a rant festival on my channel starting at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 2100 for those of you with a DD214 in your hand. So swing on by, and if you really like Janet and want to see more of her longer, I suggest swinging by my channel on Monday at 7:30 as we discuss the movie Bugsy Malone, a 1976 film about gangsters casted by children.
Oh,
It was the one with Jodie Foster, right?
Yep, Jodie Foster and Scott Bio. We'll be doing the watch party on Sunday in our Discord channel and my Discord channel. My
If
bad.
you want to watch the movie with us, Bruce will have the Discord link on his channel, and can you post it in the chat,
I will.
Bruce?
I will.
And you guys are more than welcome if you want to come. I think we try to start at like 7:30, something like that, and we all watch it in Discord together. And we do talk about it a little bit, and then the next day we review the movie the next night. So it's a lot of fun, and I have never seen the movie, so this is going to be a brand new movie for me because I've never seen it yet.
kind of
We'll see
adorable.
it.
Oh, just
So it'll be fun.
real quick, Janet, since they did some promotion, you guys can always find me as Ultra Gay Biker Dad on Twitter. And I chat about the same things that you guys chat about. Janet, you and I intersect very well on that subject. And right now, a lot of my content has been fighting the sexual grooming of children in schools.
Yes.
And being used under the shield of the LGBTQ ideology. So you can see a lot of that stuff on my channel, but I do talk about other things.
Yep.
Yes.
We do a lot of spaces too. Oh yeah, Bruce.
I love pedocillin.
The pedocillin is the future. Everybody should get some pedocillin, and that'll take care of your local neighborhood.
Any of your problems.
I am already in love with Bruce.
I know you guys would love. All of you guys would get along because you're just awesome, Dad. You're just great. I've adored you since the first time I met you. I think you're a great person. You're a great American, and you're a great friend.
The feeling is absolutely mutual.
Oh, thank you so much. I just adore all 3 of you guys. You guys are very important to me in my life. You make me happy. You bring me joy, and I have fun with you. So that's good too. But I just want to say thank you for everyone that showed up tonight. This has been really a good, fun thing for me to do to help us talk about stupid shit that's going on, and maybe we can somehow figure out a way to stop all this shit. But but this is the world we live in, and we just got to make the best of what we can with what we have left, right?
Hell world.
Kill the communists. My bad.
But thank you guys, everyone, for showing up, and without you guys, we wouldn't be around. So thanks a lot, and you guys have a wonderful weekend.
It was a pleasure.